14%. Chapter 81. Blocking Doors, Crisis. The queen was killed, and the colony immediately fell into chaos. The more than 20 soldiers guarding the queen immediately went mad, with blood shining in each eye, looking for the murderer with a pair of giant jaws open. Lin Haoyang quietly stepped back. Just now, a huge killing intent hit Lin Haoyang's Dao heart. As if heaven had come, Lin Haoyang almost lost Dao heart. Fortunately, at the moment of the crisis, Yuk shed light, sucking the huge killing intent into Yuk. At the moment when Yuk absorbed the killing intent, the heavens were blinded by the power of a huge law, and Mu Zuzi's simulated projection shook for a while, losing control of the Scarlet Wasteland. Mu Zuzi frowned. It was the first time he saw this situation. He pinched his fingers and deduced, only to find a fog, and he couldn't calculate anything at all. Everyone frowned, making Mu Zuzi helpless. The hidden secrets are beyond imagination. The chaos of the projection was only 10 breaths. After 10 breaths, the picture recovered. Lin Haoyang was hiding in the ant egg room of the ant nest at the moment. The black ant eggs were gradually losing their vitality. In addition to the huge killing intent invading his Dao heart, most of the Tier 3 top-grade stealth charms were also shattered. After less than 10 breaths, the stealth charms became ineffective. Lin Haoyang's breath instantly filled the entire queen's courtyard. Lin Haoyang didn't know that Yuk had caused an uproar, nor did he know that he had entered the eyes of the upper-level figures of the major forces at this moment. As long as he showed the slightest strangeness, these people would take him down and look for something that could shield the secrets of heaven. When the ant colony lost its queen, it immediately turned into a pile of scattered sand. It was no longer able to organize well against the siege. It was only out of instinct that these worker ants and soldier ants attacked Lin Haoyang, the foreign atmosphere. Lin Haoyang's invisibility talisman lost its effectiveness. The ant colony smelled Lin Haoyang's breath, and a large number of them rushed towards Lin Haoyang. Lin Haoyang made a bad cry, and immediately sacrificed 3 Senkai swords, Zunyuan and a Tier 3 high-grade defensive shield. Lin Haoyang's combat power was fully deployed, blocked in the small courtyard where the ant eggs were stored, and began to block the ant tide here. A dense crowd of demon ants swarmed in, but there was only one entrance to the ant egg chamber, and it was extremely small, and it was impossible to allow so many demon ants to pass through. This gave Lin Haoyang a chance to breathe. There are about 2,000 ant eggs in the ant egg room. Lin Haoyang's eyes lit up. A flying needle escaped from the flying sword and shot on the ant egg. It immediately pierced the ant egg and turned it into a fly ash. Lin Haoyang felt that a killing intent was coming, but the numbers on his head remained unchanged. Lin Haoyang resisted the attack of the demon ants while urging flying sword to destroy the ant eggs frantically. When Lin Haoyang destroyed the 10th ant egg, Lin Haoyang the number on the head finally increased by 1. Seeing this, Lin Haoyang was overjoyed. There are 2,000 ant eggs, which is more than 200 points, plus the 100 points for killing the queen, and the total is more than 300 points, plus the original 240 points. More points. Lin Haoyang now has 600 points in his hand, and another 400 points will be able to complete the task. Lin Haoyang no longer hesitated, and released the 3 flying needles hidden in the 3-handed Senkai sword to attack the ant eggs that were unable to fight back, while he himself faced the dense ant dens. The queen and the eggs are the most important things in a colony of demonic beasts. They are all made with the best protection. The rock walls of these 2 chambers are more than 10 meters thick, and are mixed with the formic acid of the worker ants, which is extremely strong. Even if the number of demon ants outside has reached hundreds, they can only come from the entrance of the cave. At this moment, Lin Haoyang was holding a shield in one hand and Xuan Yuan in the other. 3 swords with 3 handles hung in the air to make up his sword. For a while, the huge swarm of demon ants could not attack. When encountering a second-order monster ant, the 3-talented sword flew out and killed it. The third-order demonic beasts, Zunyuan in his hand, personally served him. If there were third-order high-grade soldier ants, Lin Haoyang launched the soul fixation technique to take his life with 1 blow. At this moment, Lin Haoyang is quite a man, and he must be brave. After just a stick of incense, the number on Lin Haoyang's head reached 700, of which ants eggs and queens accounted for the majority, but the number of monster ants killed by Lin Haoyang, blocking the door, was already quite large. In this nest of ant nests, the number of second-order worker ants is the largest, reaching thousands. If it is in open areas such as plains, even the golden core cultivator may be consumed by them. After all, ants often kill elephants. However, Lin Haoyang is now in a good time and place. As long as he still has a trace of spiritual qi, he can continue to kill. Such a huge killing caused Lin Haoyang to see a white mist all over his body. This white aura was an invisible killing intent, which could only be seen when it reached a certain amount. Dao heart that can deceive people. If it is not handled well, Dao heart is shaken, it is very likely that it will fall into devil Dao and become a machine that only knows to kill. The first batch of demon cultivator was after a great battle. The dead bodies on the battlefield were piled up and the killing intents filled the sky. At that time, the cultivators on the battlefield were all eroded by the killing intents. Dao heart was unstable and fell into devil Dao. When killing the queen ant earlier, Lin Haoyang felt Dao heart tremble and almost lost Dao heart, but Yuke suddenly took away the killing intent, allowing Lin Haoyang to guard the spiritual platform and Dao heart. At this moment, Jade K was like a dead thing, letting these killing intents wrap Lin Haoyang and killing intents into his body. Lin Haoyang's eyes that had already been killed at the moment were red, and the continuous killing made his heart numb. At this moment, Yuke felt Lin Haoyang's crisis, and suddenly turned into a light and merged into Lin Haoyang's body. If Lin Haoyang is still awake now, he will definitely be surprised. For so many years, Lin Haoyang has been trying to put the jade fault in his storage bag, but he failed. Lin Haoyang's body. Lin Haoyang, wake up soon. Lin Haoyang, who had gradually lost consciousness, felt a call from the depths of his soul. Lin Haoyang's spiritual sense floats in a wonderful space, where there is nothing but nothing, only a golden dragon floating in front of him. Lin Haoyang's spiritual sense opened his eyes and looked at Xiaolong. He felt a little familiar, but couldn't remember it. Seeing Lin Haoyang's spiritual sense opened his eyes, the anxiety on Xiaolong's face was relieved, and he continued. Your current state is extremely dangerous. A large number of killing intents contaminate your spiritual platform and blind your Dao heart. In a moment, you will become a lunatic who only kills. When your spirit power is exhausted, you will die under the mouth of these ants. Quote. Although Lin Haoyang is only a spiritual sense body at this moment, Xiaolong mentioned this point, Lin Haoyang also realized the seriousness of the problem, and asked. What should be done? Who are you? Why are you in my divine sense? I am the dragon spirit on Yuke. This time I absorbed the dragon veins on Shuyang Mountain. Only then did I recover 1 or 2 times. Then I thought you were so desperate. The moment you recover me, I will automatically be refined by you. But I and Feng Ling need to be in this world and need the qi of the dragon vein and the qi of the phoenix vein, and those places before were too barren, until now I have stolen a little. Quote. Hearing that the dragon spirit needs the energy of the dragon veins to recover, Lin Haoyang is even more curious about its origin. But now is not the time to discuss the origins. His current body is killing instinctively. Once he makes a mistake, it will be forever. This time, the strength that has been absorbed so hard is almost used to save you. Now I will pass you a cultivation technique of refining killing intents. Also, be careful of those guys outside. In order not to be discovered by them, I was deceived when I rescued you, but you still have to be careful when they force their actions. When Long Ling said this, he disappeared, and Lin Haoyang also had a cultivation technique in his mind, killing the character judgment. 14%. Chapter 82. Killing intent. Lin Haoyang's sea of consciousness is protected by a jade fault, and he is still relatively sober, and the spirit platform in his brain has been occupied by the killing intent, which is why Lin Haoyang only knows about crazy killings now. Dao heart is an abstract concept. He does not exist anywhere in Lin Haoyang's body, but now he is like a cocoon, wrapped in a white killing intent. Even if Lin Haoyang's killing intent disappears in the future, Lin Haoyang will no longer be motivated, and cultivation base will not advance and retreat until he becomes a useless person. There is always a benefit for 100 harms. The state of being possessed by killing intent caused Lin Haoyang's Buddha profound reality arc to explode at a super level. Every move that was displayed was a black spirit power gushing. Lin Haoyang's current state, as long as it is not tier 3 high grade, you can kill with 1 shot, but if you don't, you will get 2 shots. Such crazy killing caused the number on Lin Haoyang's head to go straight to 800. If there is a choice, Lin Haoyang is willing to kill until the level is cleared. However, under such a violent attack, the 3rd tier top grade defense magical item has cracked, and I am afraid that there will be a stick of incense, and it will completely collapse. Brow defense magical item. Lin Haoyang, no matter how strong he is, when he is tired, a person who can't defend and is broken by the line of defense by the demon ant is Lin Haoyang's death period. Outside, everyone looked at Lin Haoyang's crazy killing with a gloomy face. Because the number on Lin Haoyang's head is now almost 800. More importantly, Most of these numbers are from some Tier 2 worker ants, a cultivator with the strength of the 9th floor of the Foundation building, and a group of Tier 2 demonic beasts, queuing, to let you score points, which of course makes their power uncomfortable. Only Li Mucheng is smiling. Lin Haoyang's current results are undoubtedly far ahead. As long as he can persist, the first place in this first level will be his Chongshan Tower. However, Lin Haoyang's current state makes him a little worried. That killing intent, Foundation building cultivator is hard to bear. Lin Haoyang's spiritual sense opened the Shazi Ju, and he was immediately surprised. What was recorded in the Shazi Ju was not a cultivation technique, but rather a spell that resembled soul concentration. Judging by its complexity, the rank might not be lower than soul concentration technique. Fortunately, Lin Haoyang has cultivated soul concentration, and has some understanding of this complicated high-rank spell, and there are some origins between killing character decision and soul concentration. The soul-fixing technique can also be the soul word determination. These two spells are actually a set. In addition to killing and soul, there are 3 determinations of body, spirit, and speed, corresponding to the physical body, spirit power, and movement technique. And the full name of this set of spells is called 5 Stunning Skills. If the 5 stunning skills are complete cultivation, the strength of the body can also be a grade of ascension. It is precisely because Lin Haoyang has practiced soul-fixing technique that Long Ling can make Lin Haoyang temporarily learn to kill the character, otherwise it is impossible for people who have never contacted to control the killing intent in such a short period of time. When Lin Haoyang opened the killing intent, he knew what a killing intent was. The moment a creature dies, his soul will be angry. This anger is called Sha, and they will attach to the person who killed them or the magical item. When the evil accumulates, it is the killing intent. When the killing intent reaches a certain level, a white mist will form to envelop the holder. If the killing intent is not removed, it will slowly erode the cultivator's spiritual platform and make him lose his sanity, blind Dao heart, and let him retreat from the cultivation base. However, killing intent is extremely domineering, even comparable to the imperial spirit. The subtlety of killing characters lies in the ability to drive killing intents. Killing intent, like divine sense, is intangible and infinite. If you want to promote it, you must know it very well, and it must be driven by a huge base. Before the change, Lin Haoyang didn't know anything about killing intents. After the killing intent, Lin Haoyang had the experience and wisdom of countless former sages. Now Lin Haoyang has 100 times the knowledge of killing intents. Moreover, at this moment, Lin Haoyang's whole body was wrapped in a white killing intent, and the killing intent was full, so there was no need to worry at all. Seeing that the 3rd order high-grade armor shield was about to be unable to support it, Lin Haoyang did not dare to delay any longer, and immediately ran the profundity of the killing intent, trying to control the killing intent. After starting the cultivation of the killing character, Lin Haoyang felt that it had more similarities with the soul-fixing technique, and both required extremely strong control, and Lin Haoyang's powerful spirit helped him just that. As time passed a little bit, the fissures of the 3rd-tier high-grade armor shield became larger and larger. I am afraid that after 10 more breaths, the armor shield will completely collapse. At this time, on the Lingtai in Lin Haoyang's mind, Lin Haoyang's spirit body was hand seals with both hands, and there was a white killing intent flowing between his eyebrows. Lin Haoyang was trying to control the killing intent. As long as he clears the killing intent, he will be able to regain control of his body, and then he will be able to refine the killing intent, which will no longer be a problem. Boom. It was also at this time that a Tier 3 high-grade soldier ant attacked and instantly broke through the broken shield armor, and then bit on a Senkai sword with both jaws. This magical item, which had been with Lin Haoyang for a long time, was instantly crushed by a bite. Turned into fragments. The 3rd-tier high-grade soldier ant is powerful, breaking Lin Haoyang's 2 defenses. Lin Haoyang desperately hit. Zunyuan cut off its front leg in his hand. At this moment, all the killing intents in Lin Haoyang's Lingtai turned into a torrent, rushing straight towards Lin Haoyang's eyebrows. When all the killing intents converged on the eyebrows of the spirit body, they turned into a silver vertical eye, which grew on Lin Haoyang's spirit. The person of the body. Lin Haoyang's situation was beyond Lin Haoyang's expectation, but he didn't have time to study. The killing intent was removed, the red in Lin Haoyang's eyes faded from outside, and Lin Haoyang took control of his body again. Originally, seeing that Lin Haoyang was already dead, and Mu Zuzi had spirit power circulating in his palm, I am afraid that when the moment of life and death is really reached, Mu Zuzi will also make a move. When Lin Haoyang regained control of his body, he felt a sharp pain first, and then a feeling of weakness. After such a long time of high-intensity fighting, Lin Haoyang's left arm was already a piece of blood due to the strong support of the armor shield, and the right arm supported Zunyuan, and the damage was also not light. With such a frenzied fighting method, the spirit power in his body had already bottomed out, and in the passage, the demon ants were still pouring in, especially the demonic beasts of Tier 3 top grade. Although a leg was cut off, there was no retreat. Touching the storage bag, Lin Haoyang took out a Tier 3 high-grade flame explosion charm. This was the only charm on Lin Haoyang's body. There was not much spirit power left in his body. Lin Haoyang had to take out a middle-grade spirit stones, wrap the spirit stones with the magic talisman, and then hit the tunnel. The moment Lin Haoyang retreated quickly when the magic talisman was shot, so as not to be injured by the flame explosion talisman. Boom! The flame explosive magic talisman absorbed the spirit power of the middle-grade spirit stones and was instantly detonated. The terrorist explosive power swept through the passage. Under the power of the flame explosive magic talisman, the passage was emptied, and the demon ants suffered heavy casualties. The flame explosion talisman has such a powerful power, mainly because the space here is narrow, so that the power of the flame explosion talisman is all acted on the monster ants, so this is the scene of emptying. The explosion of the flame explosion talisman directly brought the number on Lin Haoyang's head to more than 900, which was only a little away from the distance of 1000. Above the Scarlet Wasteland, other people are still hiding the killing intent of refining, and some very talented people have slowly begun to hunt demonic beasts, but they don't even have half of Lin Haoyang's points on their heads. Seeing that the passage was emptied, Lin Haoyang did not relax, because he already felt the squeak outside, which shows that the surviving monster ants outside have arrived again. And now, his spirit power in his body is almost zero, and it is impossible to activate magical item anymore. The only way out for him is to refine this body, killing intent. Only by condensing the evil spirits as a sword and using war to support war can there be a ray of life. 14%. Chapter 83. Condensation of evil as a sword. With the killing intent, Lin Haoyang felt that the killing intent was no longer invisible, and Lin Haoyang seemed to be in the water now. Killing intent is water, he is fish. Lin Haoyang slowly raised his right arm. Under the control of Lin Haoyang's divine sense, the white killing intent began to revolve around Lin Haoyang's arm, turning into a stream of white air currents. Roar! Finally, a huge colony of ants swarmed in again, and because of the flame explosion magical talisman, the passage became larger, almost double the previous amount, and the number of monster ants that Lin Haoyang had to face for a while also increased sharply. There is a group of spirit power ups and downs in Mu Zuzi's hand, and there is a complicated rune on this group of spirit power, and this rune is the center that controls the first level of the trial. As long as he wants, he can immediately remove Lin Haoyang from the trial space. Come out. But in this way, Lin Haoyang also lost the qualification for the trial. Lin Haoyang didn't panic in the face of the demon ant swarms that had flooded in multiples. All his energy now was feeling the killing intents all over his body. 10 meters. 6 meters. 3 meters. Demonic beasts is getting closer and closer to Lin Haoyang, and at the front is a tier 3 middle rank soldier ant with a pair of giant jaws, quickly approaching Lin Haoyang. Just as the giant jaws of the demon ant were about to smash Lin Haoyang's head, the killing intent on Lin Haoyang's right arm shot out suddenly, turning into a sword light, and directly cut the head of the tier 3 middle grade demon ant that rushed forward. Into two halves. After cutting the head of the demon ant, the sword light formed by the killing intent did not dissipate. After 3 second order worker ants were cut up, it dissipated invisible. In an instant, 4 demon ants turned into black mist, which made Lin Haoyang breathe a sigh of relief. The power of this killing intent exceeded Lin Haoyang's belief. But Lin Haoyang also discovered a shortcoming of killing intent utilization, that is, killing intent, like spirit power, will not regenerate, and use a little bit less. But Lin Haoyang didn't worry about this. The most indispensable thing in this bloody wasteland was killing intent. Just now Lin Haoyang killed 4 monster ants, and the killing intent was basically replenished. After discovering the powerful power of the killing intent, Lin Haoyang no longer retained it, and started to mobilize the killing intent with all his strength. With Lin Haoyang's current spirit level, he mobilized at most 3 killing intent sword lights. For a time, 3 killing intent sword lights flew up and down in the ant egg courtroom. For a time, the demon ant was killed and lost his armor. The sword light that the killing intent turned was too sharp, and the carapace of the third order monster ant could not be prevented at all, and Lin Haoyang could only be killed, regardless of Lin Haoyang. Suddenly, the number on Lin Haoyang's head soared, approaching the number of 1,000. Even Lin Haoyang didn't expect that he could complete the task so quickly, and unexpectedly mastered the method of controlling the killing intent. Lin Haoyang himself sometimes suspected that the creator of this trial was set up for his disciples to control the killing intent, otherwise, why should the killing intent ascension of this scarlet wasteland be so concentrated? Killing intent filthy Dao hard is one aspect, I am afraid, teaching disciples to control killing intent is another aspect. Outside, the top of Shuyang Mountain. Ha ha ha, Ruzi can be taught. This kid is the third one to learn to control the killing intent since I took charge of Shuyang Mountain. As he said, Mu Zuzi laughed with excitement on his face. Representatives of other forces are naturally smart people, and they can understand the deep meaning of it at a glance, but for Lin Haoyang's aptitude and understanding, it is still horrible in secret. Everyone guessed that Lin Haoyang must have understood the killing intent in the first level, and then ventured into the ant nest, but everyone still sighed that Lin Haoyang was really bold. Li Muchung's face is full of smiles. As a cultivator of the gods, he still knows one or two about killing intents, and can spur 3 killing intent swords. It shows that Lin Haoyang has just started to control the killing intents. But these killing intent swordsmen are not something that some tier 3 monster ants can contend with. They just add some points to Lin Haoyang. The first level of this first level is probably going to belong to him. With this number 1, he can obtain a lot of resources from the Chongshan Tower, and Li Muchung also wanted to give Lin Haoyang some rewards in private. If Lin Haoyang knew Li Muchung's thoughts, he would have to be happy, and a little something flowing out of the nails of the cultivator would be enough for Lin Haoyang to use. Ding! A soft sound turned into Lin Haoyang's ears, and then the soldiers and worker ants who were not afraid of death all turned into a black mist and disappeared. Lin Haoyang froze for a while, knowing that he had cleared the customs. And the news that Lin Haoyang had completed the number of 1,000 spread throughout the Scarlet Wasteland in an instant. Whether it was hiding to restore spirit power or fighting fiercely, after receiving this news, all his expressions changed, an incredible look. They are not to blame, it is that Lin Haoyang's performance is too amazing. After all, besides Lin Haoyang, the current number of people like them is only more than 400 points. In fact, the most incredible people are the people of the Chongshan Tower. They know the strength of the 5th floor of Lin Haoyang Foundation Building, but it is like a joke that a foundation building can complete 1,000 counts so quickly on the 5th floor. You know, that is 1,000 tier 3 demonic beasts, not 1,000 pigs. It was only 3 days ago that they could complete the mission. What kind of monster Su Linger found? This is the question in the hearts of all Chongshanlu disciples. In fact, even Su Linger was very confused. Before, she was worried that Lin Haoyang would not be able to complete this 1,000. He came to Lin Haoyang to help her complete the 3rd level, but now, it seems that Lin Haoyang has robbed the limelight. After Lin Haoyang completed the task, he came to a square. There was no one here, only Lin Haoyang stood alone. Although he had prepared himself, Lin Haoyang still couldn't believe it, he was the first one to come out. At this moment, Lin Haoyang was relieved, dispersed the killing intent around him, cultivated the killing intent, and had a good command of the killing intent, which is now available. The killing intent was put away, and Lin Haoyang felt a sharp pain in his body and soul. This time, the price he paid was a bit huge, too big for him to bear. At this time, Mu Zuzi's voice rang in Lin Haoyang's mind. Little friend, congratulations on completing the 1st level of the trial. The time limit for the 1st level is 1 month. Those who complete the number of 1,000 within this month are considered to have passed the level. You are the first person who completed it in the first 4 days since I stayed here. Even when you are in the fairy world, your achievements can be ranked in the top 100. In the next time, you will recover well. Later, I look forward to your performance. Quote. Lin Haoyang frowned, and he completed the number of thousands in 4 days, but he also knew that most of his achievements were moist. Despite this, he could only be ranked in the top 100. For a time, Lin Haoyang became more curious about the immortal world. Now Lin Haoyang is facing another problem, and that is how to deal with the injuries in his body and soul. Suddenly, the pain of tearing his arm suddenly eased a little, which made Lin Haoyang surprised, and then felt the life attributes of spirit power in this space extremely rich. Lin Haoyang moved in his heart, remembering that Shuyang Mountain has dragon veins, presumably this vitality comes from that dragon vein. He touched his chest and found that Yuke was no longer there, leaving an empty rope. Lin Haoyang suddenly became anxious and hurriedly looked inside and found that Yuke was floating in the Ondantian space. Seeing that Yuk was still there, Lin Haoyang finally breathed a sigh of relief. He didn't know why Yuk ran into Dantian, but Lin Haoyang felt that it was safer. If the big figures outside wanted to investigate him, there would be no way to investigate. 14%. Chapter 84. The power of the dragon veins in Shuyang Mountain was beyond Lin Haoyang's imagination. In just 10 days, Lin Haoyang's arms gradually recovered, and the pain on the sole gradually healed. Lin Haoyang estimated that at the beginning of the second stage, Lin Haoyang's injuries could not be fully recovered, but how could he recover 7 or 8? Especially, in this space of cultivation, Lin Haoyang feels that the speed of cultivation base ascension is extremely fast. He has just broken through the 5th floor of the foundation building, but if he can continue to cultivation here, I am afraid that it will only take a year for him to break through the foundation building. Floor. The Sword League occupies such a unique treasure land. I don't know how many masters have been trained. However, the Sword League is the backbone of the entire human race, and the number of masters killed each year is equally huge. Today is the 14th day of the trial. In the Scarlet Wasteland, the number of people reaching 900 has reached 15. 5 of them are already very close to the number of 1,000. I am afraid that today, these 5 people will be able to complete the number of 1,000 and break through the first level. In the Scarlet Wasteland, a man stood with a fan, his face was pale, and his eyes were blood red, but he still suppressed the killing intent in his heart and guarded the spirit platform from being disturbed by the killing intent. He raised his right hand, his 5 fingers were all ripped apart, and he resisted the pain. The moment his fingers closed, a third-order high-grade wolf demon not far in front of him cracked into a dozen pieces, and then passed away with the wind. At the moment when the wolf demon died, the number on the man's head finally became 1,000. Feeling the power of transmission from all over the body, the man loosened his whole body and said, "Finally finished. Otherwise, I really have no clothes to change." On the other side, a mysterious person in a black robe was covered in blood stains. The black robe was broken, but his eyes were full of determination. The dagger passed through the neck of a Tier 3 middle-grade flood dragon, and the flood dragon suddenly shattered into a thick mist. Although embarrassed, the black-robed man's eyes were full of killing intent, and some white fog could be seen faintly circulating around him. If Lin Haoyang was here, he would definitely be able to recognize the white fog. The killing intent was so dense to a certain extent. Moreover, from the looks of it, the black-robed man has also mastered the killing intent driving method, but the degree of driving is not as deep as Lin Haoyang. This kind of spatial surging power is not only in these 2 places, but also in the other 3 places, and some people have reached the number of 1,000 and completed the first level of the trial. Lin Haoyang was originally trying to feel the power of the dragon veins on Shuyang Mountain. After more than 10 days of research, he found that the so-called power of the dragon veins is very similar to spirit power, but it is like an upgraded version of spirit power. When the power of the dragon veins, his body will feel a sense of comfort. Just as Lin Haoyang was preparing to use the Buddha's profound technique to guide spirit power, the space not far away fluctuated, and 5 people appeared, each of whom was powerful. In Lin Haoyang's induction, even when Lin Qianlong has not made his breakthrough, I am afraid that he will not reach this level. The spatial fluctuations dissipated, and the second group of people who completed the trial appeared in the square. As soon as they appeared, these people lay on the ground in embarrassment. In the past 14 days, they were either fighting or fleeing for their lives. These 14 days are probably the darkest 14 days they have ever lived. They can survive not only with perseverance, but also with the charms provided by sect. Everyone looked at Lin Haoyang. Lin Haoyang was the first to complete the trial 10 days ago, forcing them to hunt down demonic beasts desperately, just to see where the first person is sacred. Seeing real people now, everyone is shocked. Everyone has a huge wave in their hearts. They did not expect that this first person, since there is only the cultivation base on the 5th floor of the foundation building, they can't imagine the 5th floor of the foundation building. How does strength accomplish the number of kills of 1,000? Your Excellency, are you the first person to complete the first trial? Asked a bald man with his hands wrapped in chains. Lin Haoyang frowned. It seemed that his performance was a little more prominent. These excellent children felt pressure and began to exclude him. Dear fellow Taoist, it's just a coincidence that I can complete the task so quickly. I am. Then, Lin Haoyang strayed into the ant nest and said it again when killing the queen and killing the ant eggs, but he kept silent about the killing intent. After hearing Lin Haoyang's explanation, everyone was full of suspicion. They had also seen the demon ants, but they dared not even think about chasing them into the ant nest and then killing the queen. The demonic beasts they had seen on the Scarlet Wasteland were all Tier 3, and naturally they thought that the monster ants in the nest were all Tier 3, and a nest of ant nests had at least tens of thousands of monster ants. Tier 3 demonic beasts, they dare not provoke them anyway, let alone go to kill the queen in person. All of a sudden, Lin Haoyang's image in their hearts changed. A man with extremely terrifying power became a bold man. Fellow Taoist, are you a fellow Taoist? The white-clothed man asked with a fan. When Lin Haoyang saw that the effect he wanted had been achieved, he felt relieved. As for how these 5 people think about their importance, as soon as the trial is over, he will return to his White Elephant Mountain. I'm afraid I will never see these guys again. In the next Lin Haoyang. The savage and savage people. This time I was invited by the Chongshan Tower to participate in this trial. Lin Haoyang said. When I heard that Lin Haoyang was a man of the border, a strange color flashed in everyone's eyes. In their opinion, the border was mostly a barren land with a backward method. They didn't expect a person like Lin Haoyang to be born. Especially the mysterious person in black robe. Although he is not a member of the Chongshan Tower, he has a great deal with the Chongshan Tower. After the trial is over, all the big families will go to the border, and he will also go. Maybe, the two of them will meet. Lu Yun and Sha Nangong, Bai Xianmen disciple, if you have time in the future, you can come to me for a drink. Said the white-clothed man. Tai Yu, Hunyuan Dao disciple, said the man with his arms wrapped in chains. Jamu, Hunyuan Dao disciple, said the man with a sledgehammer. Prison Feng, Chongshan downstairs family, the mysterious black robe said humanely, listening to the voice, just like a woman. The 4 of them all introduced, but the only woman who held the broken scarecrow in one hand did not speak, as if she was disdainful, turned around and found a remote place, and began to recover from her injuries. Lin Haoyang frowned slightly. It was not the arrogance of the angry woman, but instead felt that this woman was extremely dangerous, especially the scarecrow in his hand. Lin Haoyang once heard that the human race has a line of witchcraft and specializes in the killing of poisonous Gu curses. Such people are extremely dangerous. The woman's departure caused the atmosphere of the square to drop for a while, and everyone also looked for a place to sit and began to heal their injuries. With the first batch, there will be a second batch. On the second day, another 8 people completed the trial, including one in Zhongshan Tower. On the third day, a total of 21 completed the trial, and there were 5 people in Zhongshan Tower. Su Ling'er happened to be among them. Seeing Su Ling'er appeared, Lin Haoyang, who was initially a little anxious, felt relieved. The two had a lot of friendship, and Su Ling'er had saved his life. Lin Haoyang naturally didn't want her to have an accident. Upon sensing Su Ling'er's appearance, Lin Haoyang slammed and came to Su Ling'er to hold him. Su Ling'er stayed in it for 16 days. With her strength on the 8th floor of the foundation building, she was still a little bit reluctant. So Su Ling'er was also covered with injuries and full of killing intents. Share the task of perseverance. Su Ling'er saw that Lin Haoyang came, and she was relieved. A smile flashed across her pale face, and said, "Congratulations to fellow Taoist Lin for winning first place." Faced with Su Ling'er's words of congratulations, Lin Haoyang was too happy to be happy, and immediately drove a spirit power to seal Su Ling'er's blood, and said, "Don't talk first, you have already killed the intent. At this moment, you have not become a demon completely by willpower. I will help you disperse this killing intent." 14%. Chapter 85. Colorful Good Fortune. With that, Lin Haoyang started to run the killing intent. Su Ling'er's killing intent was much lighter than Lin Haoyang. Lin Haoyang's killing intents were gathered in a very short time. Before they dissipated too much, they were refined by Lin Haoyang. The refined killing intents lurked in the body of the person who needed to be mobilized. The killing intent without refining can also be dispelled by using some special methods. However, Su Ling'er's method is not very clever. The killing intent has not been completely dissipated, and probably 30% will remain with him. Fortunately, this part of the killing intent failed to invade Su Ling'er's spiritual platform, otherwise Su Ling'er would become a machine that only knows about killing. Although she failed to invade the spiritual platform, the killing intent has already begun to invade her acupoints all over her body. If the killing intent invades her acupoints, then it will conflict with spirit power and gradually wear away spirit power, and the cultivation base will not enter from then on. Retreat. Lin Haoyang pressed his right palm on Su Ling'er's back, and a special wave spread from Su Ling'er's back. This special fluctuation is a special operation method for killing characters, specifically killing intents. As Lin Haoyang turned to kill the word, the killing intent on Su Ling'er began to flow slowly to Lin Haoyang. Feeling the killing intent on her body gradually fading, Su Ling'er opened her mouth wide, her eyes filled with incredible colors. Her method of refining killing intent came from his grandfather. It was a tier 4 spell, but she obviously underestimated the power of killing intent. As she killed more and more demonic beasts, she dispelled killing. The more difficult the intent became, and finally the killing intent was so strong that she could no longer expel it completely. At that time, fortunately, it was about to complete the number of 1000. Su Ling'er forcibly suppressed the killing intent and invaded the Lingtai, barely completing the task. After she came out, she was already thinking of abstaining from voting, but she didn't expect Lin Haoyang to have such a trick. Suddenly, she remembered that Lin Haoyang was the first to complete the trial. In 4 days, the speed of the killing intent accumulation could completely turn him into a killing machine, and he is still standing here. I don't know when. Su Ling'er became more and more curious about Lin Haoyang, curious about what kind of person he was. An hour later, Lin Haoyang retracted his palm. At this moment, his whole body was wrapped in a white mist. From Su Ling'er, he absorbed nearly 30% of his own killing intent, which made him feel a little uncomfortable for a while. Silently urged to kill the word decision, Lin Haoyang urged his own divine sense to the extreme, with a melancholy expression on his face. Su Ling'er had been relieved, taking a medicine pill for healing, and her face was a little better. Just when Lin Haoyang tried to control the killing intent, spatial fluctuations came again from the square, and someone else completed the trial. This time there were 7 people in total. Su Ling'er's friend Zheng Xiaoxi was inside. Although it looked embarrassed, it was just a few skin injuries and was not invaded by the killing intent. Seeing Su Ling'er, Zheng Xiaoxi staggered to Su Ling'er, the two met and smiled, a wry smile flashed in their eyes, but more excited. He is? Zheng Xiaoxi asked, pointing at Lin Haoyang. Su Ling'er's expression darkened, and Lin Haoyang was about to help her refine the killing intent and said it again. Lin Haoyang helped Su Ling'er refine the killing intent. The people on the square were all witnesses. Some people felt that Lin Haoyang was dying under the peony flower, and being a ghost as well, and he was doing it all. But some people wrinkled their brows deeply. For example, the 5 people who came out of the second batch were deeply shocked by Lin Haoyang's act of expediting the killing intent from others to himself. Outside the black-robed woman, others don't think they can do it. Inadvertently, Lin Haoyang came into their sight again. Obviously, they had despised the 5-story cultivator of the foundation building before. Just when everyone was at ease, Lin Haoyang was happy on his face, and then his hands made a decision to change. A killing intent was also pulled, gradually integrated into his body, and finally disappeared. Seeing Lin Haoyang really refined the killing intent, Su Ling'er was delighted, and clasped Zheng Xiaoxi's arm with both hands. Ah, my grandmother. I still have injuries. Zheng Xiaoxi cried out in pain. Frightened by Zheng Xiaoxi's screams, Su Ling'er hurriedly retracted his hands and blushed. Neither of them was in a very good state, but they were very happy at the moment. Soon after that, people continued to complete the trial. Some people were able to stay awake, but some people had fallen into Devil Dao. As soon as they appeared in the square, they began to attack everyone frantically, but without waiting for him to take action, a god descended from the sky. Lei killed these cultivators that fell into Devil Dao. Su Ling'er, who was watching this scene, was frightened. If Lin Haoyang hadn't helped her refine the killing intent, she would probably end up like this. Soon, the trial time of the first level ended. In 30 days, only 70 cultivators completed the trial, but 11 of these people fell into Devil Dao and were killed by the god of heaven and lightning. A total of 104 people participated in the trial, but only 59 people survived. The death rate reached a terrifying 40%. 3 people were killed in the Chongshan Tower this time, which was a huge loss. You know, these people are all people with great potential, and they will definitely be golden core in the future, but they have all fallen here. When the people on the square were immersed in an atmosphere of sorrow, suddenly Mu Zuzi's voice came into everyone's ears again. The first level of the trial, the heart's demon of killing. Only those who can pass this level will be considered as preliminary completion of the test. The demon sect used this kind of heaven-defying sorcery to grow the cultivation base by breaking into the Tao, eating human blood and devouring human souls. If you can't even kill Heart's demon, then you are not worthy of the Sword League and your sect cultivation, because you may fall into Devil Dao all the time. Since you can complete the test, my Shuyang Mountain can't be stingy. I will give you some good fortunes. I hope you will wait for the future to protect the human race, and you must not fall into Devil Dao. Quote. After listening, Lin Haoyang was secretly happy, but he didn't expect that there would be rewards, so he could not help but secretly look forward to it. Even Su Ling'er and Zheng Xiaoxi both looked surprised. Judging from the information they got, there was no reward for those who completed the trial in the past. Not only the testers like Lin Haoyang, but even the representatives of the major forces on the top of Shuyang Mountain were surprised. The Hunyuan Taoist cultivator, Wang Jingkang, frowned and said, Mu Shuzi Sr., what happened to this reward? I have never had it before. Mu Zuzi habitually lifted his beard, frowning and said, 100 years ago, there were experts in the Sword League. In the next 1,000 years, the human luck will have the light of Longxing and the danger of wisdom. This is involved, I'm afraid it is in this wasteland reclamation season. In response to this crisis, the Zhanmeng has been cultivating talents secretly for hundreds of years. I saw many good seedlings during this trial. I hope this reward will help them and hope they can grow up quickly. Quote. After speaking, Mu Zuzi was not talking, but took out a jade bottle and condensed the spirit power. After playing the machine in Dao Fahui, the jade bottle disappeared into Mu Zuzi's hand. When it reappeared, it had already reached the sky above the trial space square. Under the urging of Mu Zuzi, the jade bottle turned into a size of 5 or 6 meters. Amidst everyone's surprise, there was bright light flowing around the bottle mouth and nectar coming down. Lin Haoyang stretched out his hand to catch a drop, and before Lin Haoyang took a closer look, the drop merged into Lin Haoyang's body. In an instant, Lin Haoyang felt that the remaining injuries on his body began to heal, and the wounds of divine sense began to smooth out, and his own body was strengthened bit by bit, and even his whole body was wrapped in a colorful color. Su Ling'er was also wrapped in colorful colors, feeling the changes around her body, and lost her voice. Colorful good fortune due. 14%. Chapter 86. Landing on the island. Colorful good fortune due. Lin Haoyang had never heard of it, but as soon as Su Ling'er uttered the name, it immediately drew everyone's exclamation, and apparently recognized the colorful water droplets. Lin Haoyang smiled bitterly. He came from such a remote place, and his knowledge is a bit shallow after all. This colorful good fortune reveals that he has never heard of it. From the effect of heaven defying alone, this thing is definitely not simple. Seeing Lin Haoyang's face unclear, Qifeng not far away showed a trace of sarcasm, and said, Boy, colorful good fortune Lu is a tier 6 spiritual creature, I'm afraid you haven't even thought about it. Colorful good fortune dew can enhance the cultivator's body. I heard that if you want to become a clean body, you must take the colorful good fortune dew. Although it looks like it has been diluted, it is still extremely precious. Quote. After speaking, he ignored Lin Haoyang, seated in lotus position, and began to receive the baptism of colorful good fortune Lu. At first, some people didn't understand what it was. When Kaifeng said it, they all started sitting in the lotus position. Su Ling'er glanced at Lin Haoyang, her face was overwhelmed with joy, and said, Lin fellow Taoist, hurry up and refine it. This is great for you. After finishing talking, lotus position, who also took care of himself, sat down. Lin Haoyang didn't dare to delay, for fear of missing this opportunity. For a time, everyone on the square was lotus position on the ground, and the colorful water droplets in the sky seemed to be spiritual, only falling on people. Moreover, the earlier you come out, the stronger the colorful colors on your body. Because Lin Haoyang was the first person to complete the trial, he received more care and was about to be overwhelmed by the colorful light for a time. Even Su Ling'er and Zheng Xiaoxi beside Lin Haoyang. The three of Sun Yi were more or less affected by Lin Haoyang, and their colorful colors were stronger than others. Others can only look jealously, envious of you Lin Haoyang having such a chance. This colorful rain probably lasted for a stick of incense, and then the jade bottle disappeared out of thin air. Everyone knew that this opportunity would also end, but feeling the comfort of removing the wounds all over the body, everyone felt a burst of joy. Because everyone obviously felt that the physical body was about 30% stronger than before. Lin Haoyang's injury was almost recovered with the speciality of the dragon veins, and the colorful good fortune did not consume too much on his injury. When the colorful rays of light dissipated, a thin layer of black mud had formed on Lin Haoyang, and a stench was still exuding. This stench immediately attracted Su Ling'er's attention, saying, Lin, fellow Taoist, really does not lose sight of being a lucky person, and went so far as to use the colorful good fortune to wash his muscles and cut his bones and harvest the benefits that golden core cultivator can have. Lin Haoyang still knows a little about the benefits of golden core. When gold core was first formed, the sea of spirit power was removed from what was needed for gold core, and the remaining part of the sea of spirit power would flow back to the whole body to wash the muscles and marrow. To the point. The extent to which this kind of muscle washing and marrow cutting will reach depends entirely on the cultivator itself. Generally speaking, the stronger the spirit power, the better the effect. This can be regarded as God's favor to the cultivator, otherwise, the immortal road is difficult. How many people can immortal ascension? Lin Haoyang felt full of power. This feeling was extremely strange, and Lin Haoyang reached a state of selflessness for a while. But the stench on his body quickly brought him back to reality. His face flushed, and he hurriedly performed a body cleaning technique to clean up the innocence of his body. After sniffing the clothes, I still felt that it was not working. I set up a spirit power light curtain, took out a new set of clothes and put on it, and then I got down with peace of mind. Just after Lin Haoyang changed his clothes, there was a tremor from one end of the square, so people looked at it and found that another portal appeared on the square. Everyone knows that this should be the gateway to the second stage of the trial. The second level tests cultivation base. I don't know what it will be like, Lin Haoyang whispered. Su Linger glanced at Lin Haoyang and said, "Let's go. No matter what it is, you have to face it." "Yeah, are you scared of being number one?" Zheng Xiaoxi joked from the side. Lin Haoyang shook his head. He was actually not afraid. He was thinking that the test of Shuyang Mountain was extraordinary. The way to test Dao heart was different from the usual way. Instead, he used real death to test killing intent. He was very curious about what method he would come up with after testing the cultivation base. With a trace of expectation, everyone in Lin Haoyang also stepped into that portal. Unlike the first time, after Lin Haoyang broke in, there was no transmission power. He just stayed in that portal for about 10 breaths, and everyone came to another space. This time, everyone was here. In this space, there are 100 floating islands, every 10 are photographed in a row. The first floating island connected to everyone is connected by a stone bridge. On the stone bridge is engraved the rules of the second level. Climb on the floating island and defeat the guards on the floating island. There are treasures to pick up. Those who board the fifth floating island can be considered as a pass. When Lin Haoyang arrived, people had already started to land on the island. The stone bridge was about 100 meters away. These people who landed on the island were walking on it, looking very strenuous, as if they were carrying a heavy load. Someone didn't want to walk the stone bridge and wanted Yujian to fly to the first floating island, but before he met him, he fell off. Obviously, this space has restricted air restrictions. The man was boring, got up from the ground and had to cross the stone bridge obediently. The first batch of 10 people have all landed on the first floating island. Those who can pass the first level are already extremely strong, even facing the golden core cultivator. Lin Haoyang even suspected that the 5 people who cleared the level after him all had the ability to kill golden core. After entering the floating island, 10 people walked into the palace on the floating island and disappeared before everyone's eyes. After about a stick of incense, the third floating island lit up with a beam of light, which means that the person who entered the third floating island successfully defeated the guards of the first floating island and was rushing towards the second floating island. Go. The third floating island was vacant, and naturally someone would fill it up, but some stronger people were still watching, trying to figure out how strong these floating island guards were. After knowing a stick of incense, the light of the seventh floating island lit up, and Su Linger said, "The seventh floating island just now was the foreign aid invited by the people of the Chongyang Tower. His strength is on the 9th floor of the foundation building. He is also capable of Bufan. An opponent that can be won by a stick of incense. I am afraid that his strength is not in the foundation building. 9 floors below." In other words, the second level of this test of cultivation base, the starting point is on the 9th floor of the foundation building. Quote. After that, Su Linger's complexion is a bit solemn. She is only on the 8th floor of the foundation building in the cultivation base. Although she is talented Bufan, she always suffers from the weaker loss of the cultivation base. If she is now on the 9th floor of the foundation building, she doesn't need to be so nervous. NS. The one who suffers the most is probably Lin Haoyang. He is only on the 5th floor of the foundation building, but he had the opportunity to reveal a colorful good fortune before. Today, Lin Haoyang's physical power is comparable to the Golden Core, divine sense is comparable to the 9-story cultivator of the Foundation building, and spirit power is comparable to the 8-story cultivator of the Foundation building. So, even the general 9-story cultivator of the Foundation building, it is difficult to take advantage of him. Half an hour passed, and there were not many people who hadn't boarded the bridge. Before a stick of incense, Su Linger also stepped on the 6th stone bridge. Suddenly, a beam of light lit up above the 3rd floating island, and Lin Haoyang was about to board the bridge. Tai Yu of Hunyuan Road suddenly rushed straight to the 3rd stone bridge, and smiled at Lin Haoyang. Lin, fellow Taoist, I like the number 3 next, and dare to take the lead in Lin, fellow Taoist. Tai Yu boarded the 3rd stone bridge, a stone bridge that was extremely stressful for others, but Tai Yu quickly boarded the floating island. Lin Haoyang watched this scene, only holding his palm slightly, and walked to the 9th stone bridge where the beam of light was just lit up. 15%. Chapter 87 Harvest. Stepping on the stone bridge, Lin Haoyang felt a pressure hit, as if a huge boulder was pressing on him, and he felt that the spirit power in his body was also suppressed and could not be used. Therefore, Lin Haoyang can only rely on the strength of the physical body to carry this pressure forward. It is no wonder that some people looked a little strenuous before. As far as Lin Haoyang is concerned, the huge boulder is not enough for him. Under pressure, Lin Haoyang stepped onto the floating island step by step. At a distance of 100 meters, spirit power cannot be used, but Lin Haoyang has a new understanding of own physical strength. The floating island is not big, and it is just a small path 200 to 300 meters in diameter. There is nothing on it except a palace. With a smile at the corner of Lin Haoyang's mouth, he stepped into the palace gate. The palace is relatively wide, but there is only one guard on this floating island, a puppet with the 9-story foundation building and wearing gold armor. Lin Haoyang was surprised. He never thought that his opponent would be a puppet. He had come into contact with 2 foundation building puppets a long time ago. But that was only the foundation building early stage, but now this one, I am afraid that the strength has reached the 9th floor of the foundation building, plus a gold armor, I am afraid that the strength is not weak. Trial, defeat me, you can pass the level. The golden armored puppet said, picking up the spear in his hand and heading straight to Lin Haoyang. Lin Haoyang didn't expect the golden armored puppet to be so straightforward. Seeing the spear's bitterness, Lin Haoyang didn't dare to neglect, and hurriedly sacrificed Zunyuan. In the first level, the Senkai sword was destroyed by the demon ant, and the strength of the Senkai sword that could not be synthesized into the Senkai sword array was greatly reduced, and it had little effect on the golden puppets of the foundation building late stage. Even Lin Haoyang's tier 3 high-grade defense magical item was crushed by the monster ants, so the only thing Lin Haoyang could take out was a tier 3 high-grade chasm-seeking sword. Faced with such embarrassment, Lin Haoyang made up his mind. After this trial is over, he must create a few more magical items in hand, otherwise he will be insulting to his tier 3 high-grade refiner. The golden armored puppet didn't have much fancy. He pierced Lin Haoyang's chest with a shot. Lin Haoyang took the sword and fired the spear. Lin Haoyang turned his sword back to block the spear, with a huge force, pulling Lin Haoyang back 3 steps in a row. Good marksmanship. Although the golden armored puppet is only a puppet, his marksmanship is quite good, but unfortunately he is just a puppet, otherwise his achievements will be good. Facing the cultivator who used the gun, he generally wouldn't fight him in close quarters. Lin Haoyang fought the golden puppet for 2 rounds, just trying to test its strength. After some temptation, the golden armored puppet did not disappoint him. In order to quickly end the battle, Lin Haoyang no longer gave the golden armored puppet a chance to get close. After several fights, Zunyuan successfully cut off the golden armored puppet's head. The golden armored puppet fell to the ground and gradually merged into the ground. Just when the golden armored puppet fell to the ground, a light group appeared in the Great Hall, and there seemed to be something in the light group. Lin Haoyang approached and saw that the light group looked like a scroll. After some thought, Lin Haoyang reached into the light group and took out the scroll. The scroll is made of some kind of demonic beast skin that Lin Haoyang doesn't recognize. It is very strong and will not be damaged after tens of thousands of years. In curiosity, Lin Haoyang opened the scroll, and when he saw it, Lin Haoyang was overjoyed. What is recorded in the scroll is a spear technique, which is different from the cultivation technique, which is similar to Lin Haoyang's soul-fixing and killing characters, and belongs to the category of spells. This marksmanship level has reached the 3rd tier high rank, which is already very good. If the cultivation is successful, the melee demonic beasts will be extremely beneficial. Holding the marksmanship in his hand, Lin Hao was very excited. If there are a total of 10 floating islands, if there is a spell hidden on each floating island. For a while, Lin Haoyang became excited. If he had these spells, the Lin family's strength would get a great ascension again. Putting away his marksmanship, Lin Haoyang left the palace. When he stepped out of the palace gate, another golden puppet emerged from the ground, obviously waiting for the next one to pick the war practitioner. When Lin Haoyang climbed the stone bridge, there were not many people outside, so he didn't have to rush to the next stone bridge. Moreover, the tester on the second floating island was still rushing through the barriers, and he couldn't get on it. With his leisure time, Lin Haoyang started cultivating killing characters. Having absorbed Su Ling'er's entire body of killing intent, Lin Haoyang's killing intent is enough for him to condense the fourth killing intent sword light, but he didn't have time before, and he hadn't tried it. Taking advantage of this, if he can condense the fourth killing intent sword chi, then his strength will be further ascension, and he will have more confidence in completing the second trial. After staying here for 2 sticks of incense, a beam of light finally lit up above the floating island in front, which meant that the people on the floating island had completed the trial and Lin Haoyang could land on the island. Lin Haoyang got up, patted the dirt on his body, and walked slowly to the second stone bridge. The moment Lin Haoyang stepped on the stone bridge, the spirit power all over Lin Haoyang was imprisoned again. This time, the pressure on his body reached 3,000 catties, making Lin Haoyang frown. However, Lin Haoyang was able to resist the pressure of 3,000 catties. Under the pressure, Lin Haoyang boarded the second floating island. The second floating island is about the same size as the first one, and the palace has not changed much. From here, the previous tester is climbing the third stone bridge. It is obviously a bit difficult. Looking at the strength, I'm afraid it's not less than 7. Qianjin. Withdrawing his mind, Lin Haoyang walked to the palace. Stepping into the palace, a golden armored puppet with a long sword in one hand stood in the palace. Looking at the long sword in the hands of the golden armored puppet, Lin Haoyang's heart jumped inexplicably. Could this puppet still use the flying sword technique? Trial. Defeat me. Only pass the level. Like last time, after the golden armor puppet said a word, he directly sacrificed the flying sword and went straight to Lin Haoyang. The flying sword was extremely fast, and Lin Haoyang only saw a stream of light. Lin Haoyang frowned secretly. Unexpectedly, the puppet would drive flying sword. With the experience of the last time, Lin Haoyang had already prepared. Xuan Yuan flew out from behind Lin Haoyang to meet the flying sword offered by the golden armored puppet. Boom! Lin Haoyang was connected with Xunyuan's mind. When the flying sword of the golden armored puppet and Xunyuan met, Lin Haoyang felt a huge force, which was extremely powerful, almost equivalent to a half-step golden core. The flying sword of the golden puppet is fast and fierce, and Xunyuan can only parry and cannot resist. Lin Haoyang turned his mind, barely urging Xunyuan to fight with him. The golden puppet's sword technique is very clever. It was originally much more subtle than Lin Haoyang's own groping. Lin Haoyang can sustain it, relying entirely on the powerful control of the owner. Every time Xunyuan is knocked into the air, Lin Haoyang can force it to return to the battlefield. Taking advantage of Xunyuan's flying sword that entangled the golden armored puppet, Lin Haoyang rushed forward and went straight to the body of the golden armored puppet. The spirit power in Lin Haoyang's hand turned into a sword chi, approaching the head of the golden armor puppet. Sensing the danger, the golden puppet blasted out with a punch, directly smashing the sword chi that Lin Haoyang had transformed with spirit power. Seeing that own sword chi was crushed so easily, Lin Haoyang's heart condensed. Not daring to be careless, a trace of red flashed in his eyes, and 3 killing intent sword lights went straight to the golden armored puppet, blocking its retreat. After all, the golden armored puppet is just a puppet, lacking in intelligence, and when he is killed by the killing intent sword light, he wants to crush it with his fist. Boom! The golden armor puppet punched, directly smashed a killing intent sword light, but his entire right arm was also blown to pieces. Seeing that the situation was not right, the golden armored puppet wanted to recall the flying sword, but Lin Haoyang would give him a chance to entangle the flying sword with Xunyuan, while he himself mobilized 2 killing intent sword light breakthroughs for the golden armored puppet's defense, with a palm shot. Shattered its head. This battle lasted less than a stick of incense, but the intensity was far from what it was before. The exquisite sword technique of the golden armor puppet made him very obsessed. The remnant body of the golden puppet melted into the ground, and a beam of light rose again. Lin Haoyang swallowed carefully and opened the scroll in the light group. Lying. 15%. Chapter 88. Fast Sword. Looking at the content in the scroll, Lin Haoyang was very excited. Sure enough, there is a sword technique recorded in the scroll. Judging from the rank, it should be more than the third order, and here is only the third order cultivation technique he cultivated, that is to say, this lying sword technique should be just a fragment. However, Lin Haoyang was still very happy, because spells were very rare. If a cultivation technique could carry Dao spells, it would be great. So far, the Lin family only had 4 spells. Moreover, the restrictions are very large. Only after cultivating cultivation technique can those spells be cast, and whether Lin Haoyang obtains marksmanship or lying, he does not need the supporting cultivation technique. This kind of spells that don't require matching are obviously more valuable and rare. They are generally controlled within the family and sect. This is why Lin Haoyang didn't dare to disclose the soul-fixing technique before. Lying is a fast sword, just like the gold-armored puppets cast before. The speed of the sword is extremely fast as lying. According to the description in Lying, the fast sword can be divided into 3 levels, the first layer Rufang, the second layer Streamer, the third layer Hishi. The flow shadow cast by the golden-armored puppets only stayed on the first level. Lin Haoyang was already difficult to fight against. If he cultivated to a higher level, Lin Haoyang would be even more strenuous. The second layer of flowing shadow flowing light, flying sword is out of its sheath. As fast as the flow of light, only a ray of afterglow will be left where flying sword passes. As for the third layer, Lin Haoyang also happened to be the missing part of Lin Haoyang, but according to the description in the scroll, the third layer is called Hishi, which means that if you can't see the sword, it has closed the sheath and closed the sword. Lin Haoyang didn't know whether this scroll was true, but Lin Haoyang was still quite sure of the power of this spell. Putting away the scrolls, Lin Haoyang stepped out of the palace. Although Lu Ying was very strong, it could not be made overnight. It would take Lin Haoyang to spend time to pile it up. Therefore, Lin Haoyang's primary task now is to practice the 4 killing intent swordsmanship, so that Lin Haoyang can have greater certainty against the guards behind him. This time, Lin Haoyang waited half an hour before a beam of light lit up on the floating island in front of him, and Lin Haoyang frowned slightly. Judging from the previous performance of that person, I am afraid that the guarding strength of this third floating island is extraordinary, otherwise that person would not need so much time. After more than half an hour, Lin Haoyang felt that his own 4 killing intent sword lights were on the verge of agglomeration, and given him some more time, he would be able to fully condense them. But now that the floating island was vacant, Lin Haoyang had to go forward to land on the island, so Lin Haoyang decided to practice while walking. The moment Lin Haoyang stepped onto the stone bridge, Lin Haoyang's spirit power was imprisoned again. This time, the pressure was probably 7,000 caddies. Under such pressure, Lin Haoyang's flesh and blood became tight, and the bones between his legs uttered, squeak. Voice. 7,000 caddies. Lin Haoyang's previous physical body was at the limit of 9,000 caddies, but after the transformation of the colorful good fortune, Lin Haoyang's current physical strength should be around 12,000 caddies. Don't underestimate the growth of these 3 kilograms. This is adding 3 kilograms to the limit, which is equivalent to raising Lin Haoyang's ceiling. This benefit cannot be measured by these 3 kilograms. In other words, this is equivalent to Ascension's potential and aptitude for Lin Haoyang. Under the pressure of 7,000 caddies, Lin Haoyang climbed to the third floating island step by step. Actually, it is not that Lin Haoyang can't be faster, but Lin Haoyang wants to use this pressure to help him gather the 4th killing intent. Although this heaven and earth can isolate spirit power, the killing intent hidden in Lin Haoyang's flesh and blood has long been integrated with Lin Haoyang, so the restrictions of this heaven and earth cannot suppress the killing intent. The 3 sword beams revolve around Lin Haoyang, resembling 3 small flying swords, and in the sword ring formed by the 3 flying swords, there is a little light and then condenses. That point is the 4th killing intent sword light. It has a rudimentary shape now, but the distance is completely formed, and it is still a little bit worse. Lin Haoyang climbed to the third floating island step by step, but most of his mind was placed on the 4th killing intent sword light. Lin Haoyang did not deliberately resist the pressure of Shichao. Instead, with the help of this pressure, he continuously tempered the 4 killing intent points. Lin Haoyang deliberately polished the 4th killing intent sword light, so he walked very slowly on the stone bridge. After the last few steps, Lin Haoyang suddenly accelerated, and the pressure on his body was greatly increased. Facing the rapidly increasing pressure of restrictions, Lin Haoyang didn't care at all. Instead, he looked angry and shouted, "Open!" As Lin Haoyang yelled, the fourth light spot condensed by the killing intent shook, and then it spun quickly and began to frantically absorb the surrounding killing intent. When Lin Haoyang boarded the third floating island, the fourth light spot absorbed the killing intent. When Lin Haoyang was about to board the third floating island, he was also under the greatest pressure. When the pressure reached its peak, the fourth killing intent sword light was finally condensed by Lin Haoyang. Once the sword light became a success, he immediately joined the sword ring beside Lin Haoyang. At this time, Lin Haoyang had 4 killing intent sword lights surrounding him. Feeling the murderous intent in the killing intent sword light, and the sharp power, Lin Haoyang smiled at the corner of his mouth. If he was facing the golden puppet on the second floating island, Lin Haoyang would not have to work so hard. Just when Lin Haoyang set foot on the third floating island, a red light came from a floating island not far away. It was the fifth floating island that only chose the third stone bridge at the beginning. Lin Haoyang narrowed his eyes, looking at the red light, his complexion changed slightly. It seemed that the fifth floating island was not that easy to break through. Soon after the red light came on, 2 more light beams lighted up on the floating island on the 5th column, but it was no longer red, which means that 2 people successfully completed the second trial. As for whether they should attack the 6th floating island again is not something Lin Haoyang can consider. Withdrawing his mind, Lin Haoyang stopped thinking about other things, rested briefly, and recovered the previous consumption. Lin Haoyang stepped into the palace on the 3rd floating island. There was no change in the palace here. After stepping into the palace, what entered Lin Haoyang's eyes was no longer 1 puppet with gold armor, but 2 puppets with gold armor. One is holding a long spear and the other is holding a flying sword. With this combination, both long-range attack and short-range release are both available. In this case, Lin Haoyang was no longer hiding. The spirit power surrounding Zunyuan suddenly turned black, and the 4 killing intent sword lights that had sneaked into Lin Haoyang's body appeared again. Kill. Without waiting for a few words from the golden armored puppets, Lin Haoyang brazenly rushed out and went straight to the 2 golden armored puppets. 2 golden armored puppets, Lin Haoyang, attacked, and no longer had to say anything. They used their own means to prepare to kill Lin Haoyang, the invading outsider. After the Zunyuan sword entangled the Futu Xuanzhenju, its strength greatly increased. Even if it faced the Liang quick sword of the golden armored puppet, it did not lose the wind. However, it was also difficult for Zunyuan to break through Liang quicksword, and the 2 were once again entangled, but this time Zunyuan had the upper hand. Xuan Yuanjian's aura rose sharply at this moment, as if he had found his place, and he was secretly happy. And Lin Haoyang himself, carrying 4 killing intent sword lights, went straight to the 2 golden armored puppets. The spear puppet still marks Lin Haoyang like a dragon, but Lin Haoyang doesn't fight him at all. While harassing him with the killing intent sword light, he rushes straight to the flying sword puppet. 15%. Chapter 89 Stone Beast. Flying sword puppets are good at long-range attacks and spear puppets are good at close combat. The combination of the 2 makes Lin Haoyang a little strenuous. The 4 killing intents flew up and down to block the attacks from the spear puppets. Although the spear puppets were exquisite, there was always no human wisdom. Lin Haoyang could barely cope with the 4 killing intents. Approaching the flying sword puppet, Lin Haoyang took out a Sankai sword from the storage and slashed the flying sword puppet's waist and abdomen. Cut it down with a sword, leaving a mark on the puppet's waist and abdomen, and did not cause much damage. The Sankai sword is only a second-order middle-grade magical item, and it won't play much role in the face of this kind of puppet comparable to the 9-story foundation building. The flying sword puppet saw that the Sankai sword couldn't hurt himself, so he slashed with one hand and hit the back of the Sankai sword. With a click, the Sankai sword was overwhelmed and was split into 2 sections. Facing the destruction of the magical item, Lin Haoyang's expression remained unchanged. Long before, Lin Haoyang erased the divine sense imprint on the Sankai sword, so that he was not backlashed by the magical item. Suddenly, a sneer rose from the corner of Lin Haoyang's mouth, and he saw a shadow flashing out of the 2-section Sankai sword, which was extremely fast. The flying sword puppet couldn't dodge, and was hit by the sudden appearance of a wind shadow on the eyebrows, and a small finger-sized, transparent wound appeared in an instant. That's right, Lin Haoyang deliberately let the flying sword puppet destroy the Sankai sword, and then took advantage of it and used the flying needle hidden in the Sankai sword to kill with one blow. Sure enough, these puppets had low IQs and were successfully attacked by Lin Haoyang. Without the control of the golden armor, Flying Sword, who was fighting against Zunyuan, fell to the ground and merged into the ground. There was only one spear puppet left in the Great Hall. Lin Haoyang's opponent was soon beheaded by Lin Haoyang with the cooperation of Xuan Yuan and the 4 killing intents. The spear puppet melted into the ground, and once again flew out a light group. This time it was a volume of Taoism Tiger Soul Blade. This saber technique is quite good, but it's a pity that Lin Haoyang doesn't need a knife, but it is still very valuable to bring it back to Lin's house. After leaving the palace, Lin Haoyang took out a medium-grade spirit stones to restore spirit power. Although the spiritual qi was strong in this trial place, it was not as good as spirit stones to restore spirit power in a short time. The battle for Lin Haoyang was not small, and Lin Haoyang must be prepared to deal with the 2 passes. Just as Lin Haoyang recovered, 4 more rays of blood burst into the sky. Seeing this scene, Lin Haoyang's heart jumped. What kind of existence guards this 5th pass? I am afraid that so many people can be planted in the 5th level, not less than golden core. I just don't know. Is it possible to use the soul-fixing technique here? Lin Haoyang muttered to himself. Stop caring about trivial matters outside, and start to restore spirit power wholeheartedly. A quarter of an hour later, 2 red lights broke out in the sky over the 2 floating islands in front of Lin Haoyang, which meant that both of them had failed the trial. Lin Haoyang remembered that Sun Yi, whom Zheng Xiaoxi had invited, was at the moment above the 5th floating island. Unexpectedly, she could not even defeat the guards of the 5th level. Withdrawing his gaze, Lin Haoyang regained his spirit power with peace of mind. As for Sun Yi, he only met 2 sides. He didn't have a deep friendship with him, and he didn't care much. After another stick of incense, Lin Haoyang got up and walked towards the 4th stone bridge. Stepping in, Lin Haoyang felt that he had a lot of strength, and his body was short. This pressure is probably about 10,000 jin. A normal 9-story cultivator of the foundation building has a physical strength of about 8,000 to 9,000 catties. Only a cultivator who cultivates the flesh can break through the strength of 10,000 catties. Lin Haoyang moved hard under this tens of thousands of catties. He experienced a cleansing of muscles and marrow in advance, and his physical strength greatly increased, but it was still a bit difficult to climb this stone bridge. 4 killing intent sword lights emerged automatically, hovering over Lin Haoyang's head, sharing some pressure for Lin Haoyang. The pressure on this 4th stone bridge is greater than that of the 3rd, and the tempering effect on the 4 killing intent sword beams is more obvious. Lin Haoyang can clearly feel that the 4 killing intent sword beams have become sharper and more powerful. Fear. After a stick of incense, Lin Haoyang lay on the 4th floating island and panted, feeling a little sore and soft all over. Fortunately, this pontoon confines spirit power, so that spirit power is not consumed, but Lin Haoyang frowns secretly. This 3rd stone bridge has been moved in this way. Isn't the 5th stone bridge as difficult as climbing to the sky? Suddenly, Lin Haoyang felt a sudden tremor in Dantian, and hurriedly looked inward, and found that under such a huge pressure, the spirit power in Lin Haoyang's body has not decreased but increased, making Lin Haoyang's cultivation base breakthrough to the 5-story late stage of the foundation building, which is far from the foundation building. The 6th floor is only 1 step away. Lin Haoyang smiled on his face. This Yangshan is good. The spiritual qi is so rich. If Lin's family could have a place as rich as spiritual qi. After a quarter of an hour, Lin Haoyang stood up, moved his shin, and walked straight to the 4th palace. When I got here, it was different from the previous 3 palaces. There were 2 stone statues erected at the door, 1 dragon and 1 tiger. As soon as Lin Haoyang approached, the dragon-shaped stone statue even spoke, saying, "Boy, don't go in, the guy inside is not something you can deal with. Go back and cultivate for a few decades, and try again. Yeah, don't go in, the mother Yaksha is guarding inside, you are not an opponent at all." The tiger-shaped stone statue also said. Seeing the 2 stone statues talking, Lin Haoyang was also shocked, thinking that it was indeed a relic of the fairy world back then, and even the stone beasts were already psychic. The 2 are not allowed to enter. Is there any mystery in this palace? Lin Haoyang asked when he saw the words of 2 stone beasts. Don't you know, this 4th palace is different from the previous guardian puppets. The one inside is a female Yaksha, who is even more powerful. Our brothers are often beaten by her. Even the people who came to participate in the trial didn't know how many beatings she had beaten. Even the golden core cultivator cannot escape her claws. Seeing this, the dragon-shaped stone beast said. Although this dragon-shaped stone beast was psychic, Lin Haoyang couldn't feel the slightest cultivation base on him. Either his strength was unfathomable or he could not be cultivated. But neither of them makes sense. They are powerful and cannot be beaten. Without cultivation base, it is impossible to resist be beaten. Lin Haoyang narrowed his eyes. These 2 lines of stone beast must be lying, because he didn't want him to enter this 4th palace. Ha 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 ha. Looking at the 2 stone beasts, Lin Haoyang suddenly laughed. Seeing Lin Haoyang suddenly laughed, the tiger-shaped stone beast said, "Boy, what are you laughing at? Do you think we are lying to you? We just don't want you to be beaten." Lin Haoyang gradually turned around. This tiger-shaped beast's explanation made him firmer in his mind. This is the place where Shuyang Mountain is dedicated to cultivating excellent disciples. How could it be possible to put 2 stone beasts specifically to persuade the testers? The only possibility is that the guards of this 4th floating island are these 2 stone beasts, and their guards use a mouth to persuade the tester to go back. And all the speculation comes from Sun Yi's fall in the 5th level, not the hands of Yaksha, the mother of the 2 stone beasts. Sure enough, seeing that Lin Haoyang ignored them, and instead strode towards the palace, the 2 stone beasts became anxious and hurriedly said all kinds of horrors of the mother Yaksha inside. But Lin Haoyang was unmoved. When Lin Haoyang stepped into the palace, the 2 stone beasts showed helplessness, and then, a beam of light shot up into the sky. Lin Haoyang smiled. This 4th level is too easy. 15%. Chapter 90 The Effect of Stone Bridge. When the 2 stone beasts saw Lin Haoyang stepping into the palace, they couldn't beat their spirits like frosty carrots. After waiting for a while, there was still no movement in the palace. Lin Haoyang frowned suddenly. Not right. Why is there no reward in this palace? After the level is cleared, a scroll with spells will appear, right? Why didn't this palace exist? Suddenly, Lin Haoyang looked at the 2 stone beasts outside the temple. Could it be related to the 2 stone beasts? After confirming that there were no scrolls in the palace, Lin Haoyang retired in disappointment and came to the 2 stone beasts again. Seeing Lin Haoyang came out, the tiger-shaped beast said, "Boy, I didn't expect to have some courage, but you dare not listen to us. Even if you pass this 4th level, there will be no reward." Lin Haoyang frowned. It seemed that he still underestimated the origins of the 2 stone beasts, and was able to decide whether or not to issue the reward. 2. Seniors, it seems that you are the gatekeepers of this 4th floating island. Why are you 2 not in the temple, but outside the temple? Lin Haoyang asked. When Lin Haoyang said this, the dragon-shaped beast was surprised. He didn't expect Lin Haoyang to guess that the 2 of them were the real gatekeepers of the 4 floating islands here. Finally, the dragon-shaped beast sighed. "Oh, we have been trained for tens of thousands of years. Xiaohu and I have always stayed in the temple as guards to guard the 4th floating island. In fact, there are our bodies on the other 9 floating islands, but what we mean is manifest here. The other 9 4th floating islands need them to defeat us in the Great Hall. To get rewards." Quote. At this time, the tiger-shaped beast continued. "The 2 of us are really boring. You have so many people coming to the trial this time. Of course we have to have fun. The girl doll before was not fun at all, and finally lost in the hands of the 5th floor. As for the person before you, it was a no-brainer. After being fooled by our brothers, he gave up directly." Quote. Hearing what the 2 stone beasts said, Lin Haoyang became curious. It seems that the guards of the 10 floating islands have their own characteristics. The first 4 have already seen them, but they don't know what kind of masters are hiding in the 5th one. Suddenly, Lin Haoyang rolled his eyes, cast his gaze on the 2 stone beasts, and said, "2 seniors, since you are the guards of the floating island, you must know the guards of the 5th floating island, can you?" Before Lin Haoyang finished speaking, the tiger-shaped beast said, "Don't think about it. The girl before, the 9th floor of the foundation building is not an opponent of others. If you are a little guy on the 5th floor of the foundation building, don't go to the losing face. If it weren't for you to only have the 5th floor of the foundation building, we wouldn't just lie to you like this. If you follow the normal 4th level, I'm afraid you can't even pass the 2 brothers." Quote. Suddenly, Lin Haoyang had a new definition of the difficulty of testing the floating island. Is this really just a test of the foundation building cultivator? Is the strength of the people in the fairy world really so powerful? Finally, under Lin Haoyang's bitter pleading, the dragon said, "Under the rules, the best we can tell you is that the guards on the 5th floor are beyond the scope of the foundation building. Moreover, the guards are very special." After saying these words, the 2 stone beasts did not want to say more. Turning into 2 streams of light and returning to the palace, Lin Haoyang guessed that it must be the end of finding other testers. Although there is no reward, Lin Haoyang did not consume much in this level. Moreover, Lin Haoyang also received an accurate message that the guardian of this fifth level must be above the foundation building. As far as Lin Haoyang's current situation is concerned, it is impossible to confront the Golden Core Cultivator head-on, but also to win the opponent. Therefore, Lin Haoyang was going to activate the soul-fixing technique at the moment he stepped onto the fifth floating island, and then cast his own strongest means to give him a fatal blow. Otherwise, Lin Haoyang would have no choice but to take the guardian of the Golden Core stage. When he came to the fifth stone bridge, Lin Haoyang secretly swallowed his saliva. The pressure on this fourth stone bridge has already reached 10,000 catties. I don't know how far this fifth stone bridge will grow. He can't even climb the fifth stone bridge, right? Biting the tip of his tongue and fighting hard, Lin Haoyang stepped on the fifth stone bridge. In an instant, an extremely powerful pressure was pressed on Lin Haoyang's leg. It can be seen that every green tendon on Lin Haoyang's leg is exposed, and the muscles are tight, which shows how strong this pressure is. Roughly speaking, the pressure on this fifth stone bridge may have reached 13 kilograms, and Lin Haoyang has only achieved a maximum of 12,000 kilograms after his physical progress has been greatly improved. This is the disadvantage of small families and rogue cultivators. They don't have much resources to train their tribesmen. Among those 5th rank and 6th rank forces, as long as they are talented tribesmen and disciples, they will be cultivated by various resources. Da sect, disciple of the aristocracy, can take a medicated bath from a young age to strengthen the physique. With age, the resources will gradually become several people with better tastes and aptitudes. And this trial of Shuyang Mountain is the resource allocation of the foundation building cultivator inside Juding Zhongshan Tower. This is why Xian said that this trial may determine Su Linger's fate. These people are much stronger than those from these remote and scarce places. With the exception of Lin Haoyang, as Su Linger said, he is a man of great power. Tread. Under the pressure, Lin Haoyang took the second step. At this moment, Lin Haoyang had entered the stone bridge all over his body, all of which were suffering from this tremendous force. For a while, Lin Haoyang couldn't bear it. He knelt on the stone bridge on one knee. It can be seen that Lin Haoyang's whole body is exposed with green veins, and the bones between the neck are even more terrifying. That pressure came from all directions. Even if Lin Haoyang's 4 killing intent sword lights could not be resisted, it was compressed an inch of land beside Lin Haoyang. Lin Haoyang gritted his teeth, propped himself up with both hands, and stood up hard. At this moment, his whole body trembled and his waist was also bent. But Lin Haoyang didn't feel sad and rejoiced. This huge pressure, like a giant hammer, was constantly tempering Lin Haoyang's body. Lin Haoyang could feel that something in his body was being excreted. This feeling is just like washing the body with colorful good fortune, and the whole body is very comfortable. Lin Haoyang didn't understand before that the task of this second level was to defeat the guards in the palace. Why did he cross these stone bridges? The pressure on the 3 stone bridges in front was relatively small, and they could only help Lin Haoyang condense the 4th killing intent sword light. And the pressure contained in this 5th stone bridge made him understand the magical function of this stone bridge. These stone bridges are used to help the tester to temper his body. An hour later, Lin Haoyang finally boarded the 5th floating island. Almost the moment he boarded the stone bridge, Lin Haoyang was basically lying on the ground. At this moment, his whole body is covered with a thin layer of black impurities. These are the impurities that he expelled on the 4th layer. Although there are not many, Lin Haoyang must purify these impurities in his body by himself. There are no tens of thousands of spirit stones to buy elixir and refine them. With the liquid medicine, it is very realizable. Lin Haoyang was lying on the ground and panting. Although his body was sore and weak at the moment, his body was relieved, as if he was getting rid of the shackles. After lying on the ground for another hour, Lin Haoyang's whole body was sore and weak before he retreated. For more than an hour, Lin Haoyang saw red light beams flashing on the 6 floating islands, and Lin Haoyang was shocked, not knowing who had completed the test. Practice. On the 6th floating island, Kaifeng lay down on the ground. Not far from him, there was an illusory figure holding a flying sword. 15%. Chapter 91 The Guardian of the Golden Core. Lin Haoyang doesn't know what kind of guards there will be on the 6th floating island. With his current strength, it is impossible to board the 6th floating bridge. As long as he defeats the guards on the 5th floating island, he will be able to complete the 2nd level trial task, which is equivalent to completing the 2nd level trial. After more than an hour of cultivation, Lin Haoyang came back to life, and after a little trimming, Lin Haoyang walked to the 5th mysterious palace. The fifth palace is also different from the previous ones. There are some fairy beasts and monsters portrayed in the palace, such as gluttonous, beast, jung, fey snake, etc. It is very dazzling, not as monotonous as before. To portray such fairy beasts and monsters, I am afraid that the guardian this time should be a demonic beast. Lin Haoyang muttered to himself as he looked at the mural on the palace. Compared to before, Lin Haoyang was very careful at this moment, and this palace always revealed a strange color. Lin Haoyang stepped into the palace with one foot, and only then could he see the true face of the guardian of the palace. It was not the demonic beasts that Lin Haoyang had guessed, but an individual. No, it should be a projection of an individual. The costume of that person did not look like this world, and it seemed to have a sense of illusion. Lin Haoyang couldn't feel the breath of living person in him either. Just when Lin Haoyang hesitated, the man opened his mouth and said, "Come in. Trial. This fifth level is not so easy to pass." Lin Haoyang frowned. Obviously, he didn't expect this person to be conscious. I'm afraid his origin is not simple. After reading this, Lin Haoyang didn't dare to neglect, and immediately walked into the hall and bowed to the shadows, saying, "Senior is the guard of the fifth level." The figure nodded, clustered between its eyebrows, and said, "Okay, let's not say much, since you are a tester, come out with your skills." After the silhouette was finished, a strong spirit power spread out. Lin Haoyang didn't expect this guardian to be so resolute and vigorous, and judging from the intensity of the spirit power burst by the figure just now, the guardian of this fifth level is indeed the Golden Core Cultivation base. Facing the Golden Core Cultivator, how dare Lin Haoyang retain half a point? Zunyuan and the four killing intent sword lights flew out in an instant, and went straight to the figure from different directions. Above Zunyuan, there was a faint black light, which was caused by Lin Haoyang's special spirit power covering it, elephant. Lin Haoyang didn't know whether there was divine sense in existence like a human shadow, so he didn't directly activate the soul-fixing technique in the first place. After releasing Zunyuan, two flying needles again appeared next to Lin Haoyang. This was left from the original three-handed Senkai sword, and it was also sacrificed by Lin Haoyang at this moment. However, Lin Haoyang did not shoot, but let him float by his side, following him straight to the figure. Facing Lin Haoyang's all means, the figure just smiled, and when he raised his hand and pressed it, a piece of rune suddenly flashed from his side. As soon as these runes appeared, a powerful restrictions power suddenly erupted, causing the Zunyuan and killing intent swordsmen that had attacked them to stop in the air, and their actions were blocked. Lin Haoyang secretly said a bad cry. Unexpectedly, this figure turned out to be a formation master. Looking at the technique of using formation, his strength is probably not lower than Tier 4. Facing Tier 4 formation masters, Lin Haoyang is definitely not an opponent. Immediately, Lin Haoyang turned around and forcibly got rid of the forward attack. If this entered the attack range of the Tier 4 formation division, Lin Haoyang would really have no chance of turning over. At this moment, Lin Haoyang was extremely confused. He didn't know why the guardian of this fifth floating island was so strong. Strong as desperate. This fifth floating island guardian, compared with the previous ones, looks like a moat. Although the figure is too strong, Lin Haoyang has not yet reached the point of despair, because some people have already reached the sixth floating island, indicating that this figure still has defects and is not a complete Tier 4 formation division. Lin Haoyang's thoughts moved, and the four killing intent sword lights shattered, turning into a white torrent and returning to Lin Haoyang, once again turning into four killing intent sword lights. Killing intents originated from Lin Haoyang. As long as Lin Haoyang urged the killing character and touched the killing intents, these killing intents would automatically return. Seeing the four killing intents returning to Lin Haoyang, a trace of surprise appeared on the face of the figure. Unexpectedly, Lin Haoyang could control the killing intent in this way, which was a little beyond Lin Haoyang's expectation. Although Zunyuan was controlled by the formation of human shadows, the strands of black spirit power on Zunyuan had been blocking the invasion of his spirit power, and he couldn't help this third-tier flying sword for a while. "Boy, it seems that you are not easy." Suddenly, the figure said. Lin Haoyang frowned. He didn't expect the figure to say something like this. Obviously he had already seen something unusual about him. But Lin Haoyang didn't care about the secrets in him. The big men had already seen the secrets in his eyes, and he hadn't seen any movement yet, which meant that they hadn't made it to the point where they couldn't help but take action. "Hey, you praised it." Lin Haoyang smiled. As soon as Lin Haoyang smiled, the soul-setting technique was suddenly activated by Lin Haoyang. This time, Lin Haoyang had already exerted 90% of his power. After finishing his soul-setting exercise, Lin Haoyang felt a pain in his head. For this, Lin Haoyang had prepared for this, biting the tip of his tongue fiercely, and shooting 4 killing intent sword lights at the figure again. In an instant, the figure was hit by the soul fixation technique, and immediately, the Tier 4 formation was broken. Xuan Yuan got rid of his control, and went straight to the figure Dantian. Lin Haoyang is betting that the shadow has divine sense, and all the guesses come from this 4th order formation. To control the formation, divine sense is needed to activate it. Just now when the shadow was imprisoned by the formation, Lin Haoyang discovered that it was not an automatic trigger by the formation, but acting under the control of a human shadow. With this affirmation, Lin Haoyang decided to take a gamble and fully use the soul concentration technique. Just as Lin Haoyang had expected, the divine sense existed in the shadow, and the soul concentration technique hit the middle of the shadow's eyebrows. A trace of pain flashed across the face of the figure, and the control of the Tier 4 formation was broken. Lin Haoyang seized the opportunity. Xuan Yuan slashed at the figure's Dantian, and the 4 killing intent sword lights also slashed his head straight. Suddenly, a big golden clock flashed out of the figure. Boom! With 5 light sounds in succession, the golden clock blocked Lin Haoyang's attack. Seeing this, Lin Haoyang's complexion changed. Unexpectedly, the figure had already set up an automatic defense formation, and the spirit of the figure could also be urged. At this moment, Lin Haoyang has no retreat. If people return to their minds, Lin Haoyang will have no chance to stand up. Burst! The 4 killing intent sword lights suddenly exploded under Lin Haoyang's urging. The killing intent was originally the spirit of killing, and it was extremely powerful, but was condensed by Lin Haoyang into 4 sword lights, which exploded for a while, making it extremely powerful. The big golden clock outside the figure couldn't hold it either, and it broke apart. At this moment, the figure also returned to God, forcibly enduring the sharp pain in the eyebrows, but the terrifying destructive power of the killing intent sword light made him move. At this moment, Xuan Yuan turned into a bright light and cut off the head of the figure. The head was chopped off, and the figure did not seem to die completely. A trace of helplessness flashed in his eyes, and finally dissipated in the Great Hall. From Lin Haoyang's urging the soul fixation technique to slaying the shadows, the whole process took only 3 breaths, but the price Lin Haoyang paid was extremely heavy. The 4 killing intent sword lights destroyed themselves, and Lin Haoyang couldn't reconsolidate them in a short time, and even lost part of the killing intent, which greatly reduced Lin Haoyang's combat power. Coupled with the backlash used to perform soul concentration, I am afraid that Lin Haoyang will suffer the pain of divine sense backlash within a few days. But looking at the scrolls rising in the Great Hall, Lin Haoyang's face appeared with a smile. 15%. Chapter 92. At the moment when the scroll rose from the ground, a golden light beam suddenly rushed out from above Lin Haoyang's palace. This light beam represented that Lin Haoyang successfully passed the 2nd level of the trial. When he took off the scroll, Lin Haoyang was delighted. The spell recorded on this scroll turned out to be a movement technique, the art of escape from dry flames. This movement technique is a fire escape technique. Although Lin Haoyang is the master of spiritual roots, there is also fire in spiritual roots. In addition, he is also familiar with fire elements in the craftsmanship. This kind of escape method is very suitable for Lin Haoyang. Moreover, this escape method can be cultivated to the Golden Core realm. Even if Lin Haoyang enters the Golden Core realm in the future, he will still be able to cultivate. Lin Haoyang was delighted, and hurriedly put the scroll into the storage bag. With the addition of the previous marksmanship, sword technique, and fist technique, Lin Haoyang now has a total of 4 spells in his hand, which greatly increase the methods Lin Haoyang can use. In the future, even if you meet the disciples of the big family and the big sect, you won't have to control the flying sword to defend against the enemy. After closing the scroll, Lin Haoyang walked out of the palace. Although there was a tingling pain from time to time, the joy in Lin Haoyang's heart could not be concealed. When he came to the 6th stone bridge, a portal appeared beside him. Lin Haoyang knew that it was the portal to leave the trial. If you still want to continue through the barriers to get a better ranking, you can step on the stone bridge, and those who decide that they are unable to continue can walk into that portal and leave this trial space. Lin Haoyang did not hesitate and stepped directly into the door to leave. At this moment, his situation is a bit bad. If he forcibly withstands the divine sense backlash injury and pushes on the 6th stone bridge, I am afraid it will be more fortunate. In addition, in this trial, He was only invited by Su Linger. As long as it was completed, there was no need to bet on his life. Therefore, Lin Haoyang did not hesitate to leave. After leaving the portal, Luo Haoyang came to a square again. When Lin Haoyang came out, there were already about 20 people gathered here. Lin, fellow Taoist. Just when Lin Haoyang appeared, someone called him, looking for her voice. It was Su Linger who was looking at Lin Haoyang with a smile. Su, fellow Taoist, is so happy. I am afraid that he has completed the trial. Lin Haoyang asked. It's just past the 5th level. The guardian of the 6th floating island is too abnormal. Su Linger said with some regrets. When fellow Taoist Lin can get here, he must have also completed the trial. Did you go to the 6th floating island? Su Linger asked again. Lin Haoyang shook his head and said. Defeat the guards of the 5th floating island, and you have exhausted your cards before you can win a narrow victory. Don't dare to covet the 6th floating island. Lin Haoyang looked around and found that there were not many people coming out of the Chongshan Tower. At a glance, there were only Kaifeng, Hongyu, Lanhe, Zheng Xiaoxi, Su Linger, plus him. There were only 6 people. It seems that the moat on the 5th floating island, even the top powerhouses in these foundation buildings, is not so easy to live. Lin Haoyang frowned, because he didn't see the unmanned figure, the 5 extremely dangerous figures. Su, fellow Taoist. I don't know why the Feng prisoner hasn't come out yet. Lin Haoyang naturally didn't want to believe that they would not be able to pass the 5th stage. He had doubts in his heart and asked Su Linger. Of course Su Linger knew what Lin Haoyang was asking, and now there is nothing to hide, so she said. Then no one is a top master summoned by their respective forces. Their task is to seize the top 3, because in the end, the top 3 of each level will have extra points. The first place has 3 points, the second place has 2 points, and the third place has 1 point. And this point is equivalent to a quota for completing the task. Quote. After that, Lin Haoyang was shocked. He didn't expect that there would be such additional rewards in the top 3, and if he got the first place in the first level, wouldn't it be equivalent to getting 3 points? Thinking, Lin Haoyang's eyes flashed. Su Linger saw what Lin Haoyang was thinking, and said. Lin, fellow Taoist, thought well, and I didn't expect Lin, fellow Taoist, to complete the task so quickly in the first level. It is a miracle. With that, Su Linger's face was sad. What's the secret in this? Lin Haoyang asked when Su Linger's face was wrong. Su Linger nodded and said. These bonus items are only useful for those who have completed the 3 trials. In order to prevent Lin's fellow Taoist from successfully gaining these points, the other 2 6th rank forces may make things difficult for Lin's fellow Taoist in the 3rd stage, so that you will not be able to complete the trial. Practice. And this 3rd level is no longer separate trials, but all in a secret realm. After hearing Su Linger's words, Lin Haoyang's excitement calmed down. He probably understood Su Linger's meaning, that is, those people would not let him pass the level easily and take away 3 of the rewards of the 1st level. At that time, the combination of Baixianmen and Hunyuandao was really right for him. He was a small 5-level foundation building, and he was really not an opponent. Just when Lin Haoyang was at a loss, Zheng Xiaoxi came to him and said. Lin, fellow Taoist, rest assured, even if we fail to complete the trial, we will help you complete the trial. Lin Haoyang narrowed his eyes and heard the meaning of Zheng Xiaoxi's words. This is to exchange the minority for the majority, so that the Chongshan Tower can get more resources. But even if there are Zheng Xiaoxi and Su Linger, it may be difficult to fight the 2 6th rank forces. Seeing Lin Haoyang's worry, Su Linger said. Lin, fellow Taoist, don't be afraid, they won't stand idly by under this kind of big righteousness. With that, Su Linger looked at Kaifeng, Lanhe and others. Although the other party did not make it clear, he nodded to Lin Haoyang, and Lin Haoyang was relieved. After that, some people retreated one after another, and half an hour later, Feng Prison and the 5 others also came out. When they came out, everyone was extremely weak. When I asked, I learned that these 5 people had fallen on the 7th stone bridge. Lin Haoyang was shocked. He didn't expect these 5 people to be so powerful and able to climb the 7th stone bridge. Although he did not climb the 7th floating island, Lin Haoyang was surprised just by climbing the 7th stone bridge, because he almost exhausted all his strength when he climbed the 5th floating bridge. Even the 6th floating island did not dare to board. Lin Haoyang was not the only shocked, but Su Linger was not poor at the side, and said. These are the monsters cultivated by the 3 6th rank strengths. I heard that the Phoenix prisoner is the spiritual roots cultivator. Hearing this news, Lin Haoyang slammed into the spiritual roots cultivator. She had never seen it. She had never heard of the sect, the Spiritual Roots Cultivator. Phoenix Prisoner is the heavenly spiritual roots cultivator, so are the other 5 people. For a time, Lin Haoyang was a little unbelievable. It's hard to come up with a spiritual roots cultivator among a million people. Now there are 5 spiritual roots cultivators. They were all spiritual roots cultivator. Lin Haoyang asked with a somewhat unstable aura. Su Ling'er smiled and said, "Oh, I don't know either. I only know that my ancestor Li is a spiritual roots cultivator. As for the prisoner of Feng, it is just a rumor." Lin Haoyang was shocked again and again by Su Ling'er's words. Li Mucheng is a spiritual roots cultivator. No wonder it can be cultivated into a cultivator. There are rumors that Tian's spiritual roots did not have a bottleneck before nascent soul, and even foundation building does not need foundation building Dan to be able to own golden core. This is not the same as Lin Haoyang relying on golden core of the Buddha's profound art. After waiting for 2 hours, the teleportation portal disappeared, which means that all those who participated in the trial have finished the second trial. Lin Haoyang counted, but it was a little beyond his expectation. Including him, there were a total of 48 people in the field. It means that a total of 48 people have completed the second trial. 16%. Chapter 93 The 4 Camps. These 48 people can be said to be the most potential foundation building cultivator in Infinite Continent. They all have the means to defeat the Golden Core. Of course, this is only limited to the weakest group of Golden Core cultivators. Even so, it is jaw-dropping. After all, the gap between the foundation building and the Golden Core cultivator is too big. This trial gave Lin Haoyang a lot of thoughts. When fighting against people in the future, he must not be careless. The situation of the battle may turn back in an instant. If careless, he may die at his opponent. At this time, Mu Zuzi's voice resounded in the void. Very good. This time there are 48 to complete the second trial, which is much stronger than in previous years. But you can't slack off because of this. The Wild War will start, and then you will need to wait to open up wasteland for the human race. Quote. When everyone faced Mu Zuzi, they were very cautious and hurriedly said, "Fight for the human race." On the summit of Shuyang Mountain, Mu Zuzi smiled with his beard. The people of the major forces under the seat also showed excitement. The number of people who completed the second pass this time reached 48, which is far more than the previous one. You must know that in the last trial of Shuyang Mountain, Wu Yinzhou completed the second. The number of people involved is less than 30. This time, the number of people who completed the second round of trials is more than half of the previous time. It shows that the younger generations of Infinity Continent have great potential. Ascension, there will be more powerhouses in the future. These people are the treasures of every power. Li fellow Taoist. This time, there are 7 people in the Chongshan Tower who have completed the trial. It's a lot more than that. Nangong Ling said suddenly. Li Mucheng naturally knew that Nangong Ling was squeezing himself out. Bai Xianmen was well prepared this year, and even hesitated to cultivate 2 seeds. But the limelight caused the Chongshan Tower to go out, and she was naturally uncomfortable. Li Mucheng is also a human spirit who has lived for thousands of years, saying, "You Bai Xianmen actually cultivated 2 seeds for this trial at all costs. Presumably, the leader of this time is bound to win." Li Mucheng's words murdered the heart, and immediately attracted everyone's attention to Bai Xianmen. Those participating in the Shuyang Mountain trial this time can probably be divided into 4 factions. Chongshan Tower, Hunyuan Road, and Bai Xianmen are 3 6th rank powers, and each of these 3 6th rank powers has a 5th rank top power. The alliance with Zhongshan Tower is the cultivator of the Valley of Fire. In addition to the 3 5th rank top forces that are combined with the 6th rank forces, the other 4 5th rank top forces are united together. If the 4 are combined, even the 6th rank forces must be afraid of 3. As for the third level of the trial, I am afraid that the key point lies in the combined 4 5th rank forces. The big figures outside determine the future direction of the boundless continent, while everyone in the trial decides the direction of the trial. Lin Haoyang looked solemn. Su Ling'er just told her about the third trial. The third level is an open place. There are 72 secret spots. No secret spot hides a token. The token is divided into yin and yang. Yin and yang, even if you have completed the third test, the key point of this level is to search for the yin and yang order. Su Ling'er came to Lin Haoyang just to help him find the yin and yang order. Now, unexpectedly, Su Ling'er would help Lin Haoyang to find the yin and yang order, so that he could bring back more points for the Chongshan Tower. Soon, the door to the third level was opened, and the Chongshanlu and others consciously gathered together and stepped into the third level of the trial together. It was another transmission force. When Dai Lin Haoyang sensed the outside world again, he was already in the middle of a mountain. After feeling a little, Lin Haoyang discovered that there are still restricted air restrictions here. It is not easy to search for yin and yang orders. At this time, Qi Feng said. This time Hunyuan Dao, Baixianmen, and the four alliances have their own methods. We can't easily match up. Even in the Valley of Flames, we have to keep our eyes open. After all, this trial is not only about the competition for resources in the boundless continent, but also the proportion of troops dispatched during the land reclamation season. Quote. As soon as Kaifeng's voice fell, Hongyu said, "Oh, so, are you going to be the principal of Chongshan Tower?" Now there are 7 people in Chongshan Tower, divided into 3 small groups, Kaifeng and Phoenix Prison, Hongyu, Lanhe, Su Linger, Zheng Xiaoxi, and Lin Haoyang. Phoenix Prisoner is the strongest of the 7, and he also achieved 3rd place in the 2nd level, with a little score on him. If in the past, the 7 members of the Chongshan Tower would definitely be led by Kaifeng, but Lin Haoyang won halfway through and won the 1st place in the 1st level, with 3 points on his body. Lin Haoyang has such a merit, and Kaifeng does not dare to comment casually. Because of the consequences, he cannot bear. Except for Lin Haoyang, Hongyu and Lanhe are not easy to provoke. They have cultivated a cultivation technique, and even if Feng Prisoner does not dare to look down upon it, they have cultivated a cultivation technique. So for a while, everyone was deadlocked, and no one was convinced. Seeing everyone's swords drawn, Lin Haoyang sighed and said, "Everyone, this trial is very important to you, but for me it is nothing more than a small reward. I think that you have to keep back to the Chongshan Tower to talk about the conflicts between you. Now, let's put aside the grievances and get the First Sun order." Quote. Lin Haoyang's words are not unreasonable, everyone understands it, but I don't want to give up so easily. Finally, Su Linger said, "In that case, let our competition go here first. Sect's benefits are big." Su Linger's statement surprised everyone, especially Qi Feng. He didn't keep any hands on Su Linger. "I think it should be the same," Zheng Xiaoxi also said. Of the 4 people in the Chongshan Tower, 2 of them had already expressed their views, and Lin Haoyang cast his eyes to the red moon. As soon as Hongyu gritted her silver teeth, she nodded when she knew that even if she continued to argue about it, she would have no objection. Lin Haoyang and the 3 are not considered to be people in the Great Mountain Tower. No matter how good the relationship is, even if they are a Dao companion, they have no right to interfere. Kaifeng couldn't do anything about it, and let out a cold snort. Road. In that case, what's next? Seeing this, Lin Haoyang breathed a sigh of relief. If the 4 of them still struggle in their own right, and want to achieve good results, it would be almost an idiot. After thinking for a while, Lin Haoyang said, "The secret realm here is extremely vast, and there is bound to be danger in it, but everyone together is too bloated. It's better if we divide into 3 groups and explore together in one direction, so that the range we can search will increase a lot. Even if we encounter teams from other forces, we can quickly support them." Quote. After Lin Haoyang finished speaking, Su Linger's eyes lit up. In this way, they didn't have to stay together awkwardly, and they could maintain their fighting strength and search for yin and yang orders. Su Linger immediately said, "I agree." Zheng Xiaoxi thought about it a little bit and said, "Agree." Hongyu and Kaifeng had no other choice but to agree to Lin Haoyang's proposal. Soon, everyone was divided into 3 teams, with Lin Haoyang, Su Linger, and Zheng Xiaoxi in the center, Red Moon and Blue River on the right, Kaifeng and Feng Prison on the left. Spread out the distance of 15 miles and start searching forward. The yin and yang order is varied. It may be hidden in the cave of demonic beasts, it may be hidden in deep underground caves, or even in the belly of the demonic beasts. Without that luck, even if you look for a yin and yang order in a lifetime. And some people may find a yin and yang order without taking a few steps. Just before Lin Haoyang and the others set off, in the mountains ahead, there was a roar of beasts. Oh, 16%. Chapter 94. Lin Haoyang was the first to bear the brunt. The 3 Lin Haoyang were in danger after they were on the road less than a stick of incense. Lin Haoyang sacrificed Zunyuan without saying a word. As the killing intent sword light has not yet recovered, Lin Haoyang's combat effectiveness is the weakest at this moment. Su Linger and Zheng Xiaoxi also protect Lin Haoyang behind him. Who will let Lin Haoyang carry it all alone? 4 points. At this time Lin Haoyang didn't succeed either. The two could complete the second round of trials, indicating that their strength was no longer under Lin Haoyang, and even stronger. Hearing the movement, the other two teams also rushed to Lin Haoyang's side. Oh, with another roar, the one rushed out of the jungle and stood on a boulder, with its mouth wide open, facing everyone. Seeing the master, Lin Haoyang was taken aback. This demonic beast looked a bit weird. There were a pair of small horns on the tail of the tiger's body and leopard's head. When you look closely, there are still fine scales growing under the hair. More importantly, the strength of this demonic beast has reached Tier 4, which is comparable to the Golden Core Cultivator. Lin Haoyang swallowed and asked Su Linger. Do fellow Taoist Su know this demonic beasts? Su Linger's eyebrows are frowning, and she obviously doesn't recognize this kind of demonic beasts either. On the side, Zheng Xiaoxi's face changed slightly and she said, tiger body and leopard tail, dragon horn Qilin. Yaohu. That's right, it's Yuhu, with a trace of Qilin blood in his body. This Yuhu, the strength, is comparable to the Golden Core middle stage. Quote. Although Lin Haoyang didn't know this Yuhu, it contained a trace of Qilin's real blood, which made Lin Haoyang take a deep breath. Qilin is an auspicious beast, and an adult Qilin is comparable to an immortal. Lin Haoyang smiled bitterly in his heart. He didn't expect to encounter such powerful demonic beasts here. The three Lin Haoyang recognized that Yuhu came, and couldn't bring up the fighting spirit, and then slowly backed away, wanting to wait for the arrival of the other two pairs of men and horses before making plans. Strangely, Yuhu didn't attack immediately after seeing the three of them leave. Yuhu glanced at Lin Haoyang's black spirit power, a strange light flashed in his eyes, and finally did not attack. He just stood on the boulder and watched the three people leave. When the four of Hongyu and Kaifeng arrived, Lin Haoyang and the three had already exited the mountain. Seeing the four of them arrived, Lin Haoyang wiped his forehead with cold sweat, which really scared him a while ago. If that Yaohu attacks, Lin Haoyang is not sure what will happen next. Hongyu and others rushed to see that the three of them were okay, so they asked. What happened just now? Su Linger said. We don't know. Not long after we left, a Tier 4 tiger appeared in front of us. We will have a fierce battle soon, but the tiger just watched us withdraw and did not attack us. Hongyu and Lanhe glanced at each other, their eyes filled with doubts. Obviously they also knew the terrifyingness of Yuhu, but why didn't they attack the three of them? Is there any special reason for this? In the end, Kaifeng said. Even if it is a Tier 4 tiger, with the 7 of us, wouldn't it be able to deal with him? This kind of nest of high-ranked demonic beasts, I am afraid that the possibility of hiding the yin and yang order is very high. That being the case, we might as well kill it back again. Cut you tiger. Quote. Kaifeng's words are bold, but they are also somewhat reasonable. Looking for yin and yang orders in this space is like finding a needle in a haystack, it is better to try it. Lin Haoyang was a little moved. He glanced at Su Linger and nodded when he saw him. Lin Haoyang knew that, I'm afraid other people have this plan in their hearts. At this time, Lin Haoyang looked at Prisoner Feng. Prisoner Feng seldom spoke, as if everything was dominated by Kaifeng, but Lin Haoyang didn't dare to look down upon this strong man who could climb the 7th stone bridge. Everyone had no objection, so the 7 formed a simple formation and proceeded in the same direction as before. When everyone came to the boulder where Yuhu was found again, Yuhu was no longer visible. At this moment, Lanhe walked out with a flash of busyness in his eyes, and a trace of solemnity appeared on his cold face. After about 10 breaths of time, he pointed to a mountain range and said, I sense that Yuhu went to the mountain range. But the exact location can't be found. Hearing this, Lin Haoyang was secretly surprised. He didn't expect that Blue River's pupil technique had reached this point, and he was able to detect the breath left by things for tracking. Go. The 4 people in Zhongshan Tower knew the details of Blue River's pupil technique, and they believed it very much. Soon, the 7 Lin Haoyang chased after the mountain range that Blue River was referring to. This mountain range is small, and the highest peak is only about 3,000 meters. It is really hard to imagine why a Tier 4 demonic beast chose this place as its nest. Unless, there is something in this mountain that attracts it to stay. The crowd stopped 5 miles outside the mountain range, and no matter how close they were, they would not be able to escape Yuhu's detection. Then their sneak attacks would have no effect and turned into a force attack, and the difficulty for them to take down Yuhu would increase. How about it? Does any of you have any good attention? Su Linger said. Prisoner Feng was still silent, but the dagger in her hand meant that she would not flinch at all. Finally, the Blue River Road. Yuhu has Qilin true blood in his body. We don't know its strength for the time being, and our goal is not Yuhu, but whether there is a yin and yang order in this mountain range. I suggest to check first, what exactly is Yaohu guarding? If it is not for yin and yang order, I suggest not to do it for the time being. This kind of demonic beasts, even if we beat it, we will also pay a great price. If we lose our manpower here, I am afraid that we will compete with other forces in the future. Quote. Blue River broke the current predicament with a single word. Yes, their goal is not Yuhu but yin and yang order, as long as it is confirmed whether there is yin and yang order in it. Lin Haoyang asked. Could it be that this yin and yang makes any perception method impossible? Qi Feng glanced at Lin Haoyang contemptuously, and finally said. The yin and yang order is placed under the sword light. Although the location is uncertain, where there is a yin and yang order, the yin and yang will gradually converge, and finally it will be clearly different from the surroundings. But this kind of change before yin and yang can only be sensed within 500 meters, so we still have to explore the mountain. Quote. Qi Feng's words surprised Lin Haoyang, because Su Ling'er hadn't told him this before, but Lin Haoyang also had a surprised expression when he saw Su Ling'er, and he knew the news, probably not everyone knows it. And Kaifeng might have paid some price for gaining this confidence, but he didn't expect Lin Haoyang and the others to be cheaper now. After a little discussion, the 7 Lin Haoyang rushed to the mountain from different directions and began to search for the mountain. If the yin and yang order can be sensed within 500 meters, it may not take long to search the entire mountain range. The road that Lin Haoyang chose was a small stream. He wanted to go up along the stream, and the stream was covered, so Yuhu would not easily find his existence. Following the stream all the way up, Lin Haoyang walked all the way to the mountainside, but found nothing. But when I came to the mountainside, I didn't dare to go up. On the mountainside, there was a waterfall hanging on the cliff, and a large stream of water came down from the top. The water from the stream came from here. Behind the stream, there is a cave. And inside the cave, there is a bit of yang, which is washed away by the waterfall in the sky and the earth. Seeing this, Lin Haoyang was ecstatic. If it hadn't been for Lin Haoyang to follow the stream all the way up, I am afraid it would be easy to ignore his existence. Although it is very possible that there is a sun order in the cave, Lin Haoyang did not dare to do it lightly, because he was afraid that Yuhu would be lurking nearby. 16%. Chapter 95. Each shows his supernatural powers. Lin Haoyang withdrew along the original path of the stream. After reaching a safe zone, Lin Haoyang sent out the sound-seeking note to the other 6 people. Not long after Lin Haoyang left the waterfall, the Tier 4 tiger unexpectedly appeared next to the waterfall, jumping straight into the cave behind the waterfall, and suddenly aroused a lot of speech. The water kept flowing, and the scene quickly restored here. After Lin Haoyang uttered the half-zoo incense, everyone rushed to Lin Haoyang's location. Seeing Lin Haoyang's face with a different color, Su Ling'er asked. Lin, fellow Taoist, call us, could you find something? Lin Haoyang nodded solemnly and told him all his experiences along the way. When he mentioned the Yangqi in the cave, everyone was shocked, and he didn't expect to discover something so soon. What are you waiting for? If it's right or not, just go and see. Qi Feng couldn't stand his temper and said. Others were also a little excited, and their desire for yin and yang ling had reached its extreme. That being the case, Lin Haoyang didn't delay any longer, and immediately led everyone to the cliff waterfall. Just before the waterfall, Blue River's expression changed and said, Everyone, the yang energy here is extremely heavy. I am afraid that there is more than 80% of the sun. But that Tier 4 tiger has probably entered that kind of cave. Quote. Hearing Lan He's words, everyone's faces were even more joyful. As long as there is a yin and yang order here, even if the tiger is here, they will not hesitate to take action. Lin Haoyang took out the Zunyuan sword. He was very clear about Blue River's perception ability. I am afraid that Tier 4 was in the cave. Facing Tier 4 tiger, he would not dare to be careless. At this moment, the prisoner Feng, who had been hiding in the black robe, spoke for the first time, saying, Who belongs to this yin and yang order? Lin Haoyang frowned, and it was very untimely to raise this question, because it would easily cause the unity of the people to fall apart. For the yin and yang order, everyone wants it, but now there is only one. Who owns the yin and yang order? Of course it belongs to fellow Taoist Lin. If there is really a sun decree here, it is also discovered by fellow Taoist Lin. This sun decree should belong to him. Su Ling'er said immediately. When Su Ling'er said this, Lin Haoyang secretly said badly. Su Ling'er said this and separated Lin Haoyang from everyone, which was not good for Lin Hao. Immediately, Hongyu pursed her lips and said, since this yin and yang order was discovered by Lin fellow Taoist, let Lin Haoyang take it by himself. Facing Su Ling'er's words, everyone completely ignored them. Qi Feng and Feng Prison didn't say anything. They were obviously standing on the side of Red Moon, and the atmosphere was a little weird for a while. Su Ling'er frowned, and she understood that she had made some mistakes just now. In this secret realm, there are several yin and yang orders, and the 7 members of Zhongshan Tower want to obtain yin and yang orders. And now there is a sun decree in front of everyone, and none of the 7 want to miss it. Just relying on the yin and yang order that Lin Haoyang discovered, this yin and yang order belongs to Lin Haoyang, and other people will definitely be dissatisfied. Because they want to seize this yin and yang order, what they are about to face is a tier 4 tiger, and they need to work hard for it. And if the result of desperate efforts is just to make wedding dresses for others, let alone Hongyu, Kaifeng and others, even Su Ling'er herself is not willing, because no one knows who will find the next yin and yang order. After all, this is a problem of distribution of benefits. The distribution is fair, everyone can continue to cooperate, and the distribution is unfair. Seeing that there is something wrong with the atmosphere, Lin Haoyang immediately said, I see, this first yin and yang order should be given to fellow Taoist Feng Prisoner. As a result, the fellow Taoist cultivation base of Phoenix Prisoner is the highest. I am afraid that the next battle will rely more on the fellow Taoist Phoenix Prisoner. Secondly, the Phoenix Prisoner fellow Taoist also carries a 2-point reward, which is an important means for the Chongshan Tower to improve its ranking. Therefore, it must be ensured that the Phoenix Prisoner fellow Taoist obtains 2 yin and yang orders to successfully complete the 3rd level trial. Quote. As soon as Lin Haoyang said this, it was a bit unexpected, but Lin Haoyang was able to let out this yin and yang order so easily. But at the same time, Lin Haoyang's words also reminded everyone that Lin Haoyang still carries a 3-pointer, and his existence has another meaning. Perhaps, his value is not worse than Feng Prisoner. The pretty face of Feng Prison hidden in the black robe was taken aback, but Lin Haoyang didn't expect Lin Haoyang to let this yin and yang order out so easily. In this way, Qi Feng and Feng Prison would not bother anymore. Hongyu and the others could only accept it because of the overall situation. Finally, under Lin Haoyang's proposal, everyone's mood stabilized again, and cooperation could continue. Since fellow Taoist Lin is generous, then we can't be stingy, then we will be the tiger for a while. Qi Feng said while offering a flying sword. Now that the ownership of Yin and Yang Ling's order has been determined, everyone started to lean towards the cave behind the waterfall without delay. Before, Lin Haoyang hadn't been too close to the cave. He just sensed a thin yang energy in the distance, guessing that there might be a sun decree here and there. As everyone approached, Lin Haoyang felt more and more yang qi, which is different from spiritual qi, killing intent. The living is yang, and the dead is yin, the male is yang, and the female is yin. Yin and yang changes, unpredictable. Some Taoisms are cultivation yin and yang qi, but this kind of Taoism is relatively rare. So far, Lin Haoyang has not seen anyone who cultivates yin and yang Taoism. Wow! Just as everyone was about to approach the deep pool formed by the collision of the waterfall, a tiger roar came from the cave behind the waterfall. Hearing this voice, Lin Haoyang trembled, because he had faced the owner of the voice not long ago. After biting his tongue, Lin Haoyang recovered his calm and said, Everyone fellow Taoist, get ready to fight, then you tiger is out. Reminded by Lin Haoyang, everyone offered their own magical item. When seeing Kaifeng, Hongyu, and Zheng Xiaoxi each offering a tier 4 defense magical item, Lin Haoyang smiled bitterly, and they were really incomparable with these big sect people. However, Su Ling'er saw that Lin Haoyang was only offering a sword for searching for the abyss, frowned, came to Lin Haoyang's side, and released a 4th-level defensive magical item to protect the two of them. When Lin Haoyang saw Su Ling'er doing this, he thanked him and concentrated all his attention on the cave. Boom! With a loud noise, Yuhu rushed out from behind the water curtain, and the huge impact force knocked the water of the waterfall hundreds of meters away. At this moment, a trace of blood red flashed in Yuhu's eyes, and when they saw everyone stepping into his own territory, he immediately attacked everyone. Seeing this, prisoner Feng disappeared in a flash. She is a natural shadow killer. Only by hiding in the dark can she exert her strongest strength. Seeing Yuhu's attack, Kaifeng flew out with flying sword in his hand and hand seals with the other hand. Suddenly, stone walls and pillars rose from deep underground, trying to stop Yuhu's attack. But Yuhu is the 4th level demonic beasts after all, and the strength is strong. The stone pillars summoned by Kaifeng are not able to withstand a single blow. As soon as Yuhu hits, it bursts into pieces. Seeing Yuhu so powerful, everyone's expressions condensed, and they immediately dispersed. Red Moon and Blue River each offered a fist-sized orb. One was wrapped in fire spirit power, and the other was wrapped in ice spirit power. Seeing this, Lin Haoyang's heart was shocked. Unexpectedly, the two are actually different spiritual roots cultivators, and the two spiritual roots are mutually exclusive, but they can coexist. Under the urging of the two of them, the two orbs summoned a piece of flame and a piece of ice cone, and this piece of land was turned into 2 poles of ice and fire. Just when Red Moon and Blue River launched their attacks, Lin Haoyang, Su Ling'er, and Zheng Xiaoxi also took action. Zheng Xiaoxi played a wind blade, and Su Ling'er sacrificed a tier 4 bell-shaped magical item and went straight to Yuhu. Among the 6 people who took the shot, only Lin Haoyang offered only a tier 3 top-grade flying sword. Just when everyone thought that Lin Haoyang had left his hand, the Zunyuan sword was immediately wrapped in a burst of black spirit power, turned into a black light, and went straight to Yuhu's waist and abdomen. 16%. Chapter 96 Qilin Bloodline. The first thing that arrived was the Red Moon and the Blue River flame in the ice cone. Facing the ice and fire was extremely poor. Tier 4 Yuhu did not show any fear. Seeing it jumped, he drilled out of the sea of flames. The seemingly terrifying flames did not hurt him at all, and then the cone of ice smashed down the sky, but even the fine scales on Yuhu's body could not be broken. Although the fire sea ice cone could not cause too much substantial damage to Yuhu, it delayed its footsteps and caused everyone to open their battles. After the ice cone fell, Kaifeng's hand printing method changed, and the surrounding ground that was originally muddy turned into hard rock. Under Kaifeng's control, these rocks began to turn into a stone pillar, trapping Yuhu inside. Yuhu looked at these stone walls with a trace of contempt in his eyes. With a wave of his front, the 3 stone pillars fell to the ground. Yuhu got rid of the stone wall and wanted to attack everyone again, but his hind legs sank. Under Kaifeng's control, those hard rocks turned into a swamp. At this moment, a smile appeared on Kaifeng's face, and he looked down on him, but he would suffer. At this moment, Lin Haoyang's attack came. First of all, it was Zheng Xiaoxi's wind blade. Time was running out, and Zheng Xiaoxi had only time to hit a wind blade of about 3 meters. If there is enough time and give her time to accumulate energy, she can hit a wind blade of about 10 meters. But the bigger the wind blade is, the better. Legend has it that wind blade cultivation can cut space to the deepest point. Boom! Zheng Xiaoxi's wind blade cut through the stone pillar and suddenly slashed at Yuhu's body. The wind blade was a single attack. It slashed on Yuhu's body. The blood suddenly appeared, and the fine scales on Yuhu's body were shaved off into large pieces. Boom! Immediately afterwards, Su Ling'er's bell-shaped magical item came to the top of Yuhu's head. The bell sounded like the sound of a soul, and the sound waves dissipated, and Yuhu screamed in pain. Lin Haoyang found the opportunity and slashed on Yuhu's waist with the sword of Zunyuan with the black spirit power. At this moment, Yuhu was affected by Su Ling'er's mind, and he ignored Lin Haoyang, and his whole body defense was no longer in the best state. Xuan Yuan cut down with a sword, and immediately left a wound on Yuhu's waist and abdomen. However, after slashing, Yuhu seemed to be angered by the attacks of everyone. One person roared and his whole body slammed. The black spirit power on the Zunyuan sword was shattered a little. Lin Haoyang saw that the situation was not right, and hurriedly called Zunyuan back. The others were human spirits, and they didn't want to frown. Su Ling'er also took back the bell-shaped magical item. The 6 people were waiting in a serious formation. The Phoenix prisoner hid in the dark and never showed up. Obviously, he was looking for a chance to severely damage Tier 4 Tiger. Yuhu was angered by the people and fought against them. It suffered a lot. Although Sora had a physical power equivalent to the Golden Core middle stage cultivator, Lin Haoyang and others did not give him close proximity at all. Flames, ice cones, stone walls and mud, and then another sonic attack, which made Yuhu hit very aggrieved. As a Tier 4 demonic beast, he was injured repeatedly by a group of foundation-building cultivators. At this moment, Yuhu became angry and awakened the Qilin blood in his body. I saw Yuhu's whole body slender, and then began to grow wildly. Some turned into barbs, some became larger and turned into thick armor, and the double horns on Yuhu's head rose to half a meter long, like 2 sharp blades. Everyone was shocked by the changes in Yuhu. It was unexpected that a trace of Qilin's real blood would give him such an ability, but everyone had seen it with a cultivator, and this kind of scene would not scare everyone. However, if you want to win Yuhu, everyone must show their housekeeping skills. The first movers were Red Moon and Blue River. This time, the two were no longer simply summoning flames and ice cones. With this time delay, the two of them have injected a lot of spirit power into it, and only saw the power of flame and ice soaring on the two orbs. The huge spiritual chi spread, and finally turned into an ice flame dragon, and two orbs turned into eyes. Under the control of the two, the ice flame dragon went straight to the tiger that urged Qilin's true blood. At this time, Kaifeng didn't know when a formation appeared in Kaifeng's hand, and the ice flame dragon rushed out with the Red Moon and Blue River. Kaifeng's formation was thrown away, and it suddenly turned into a sky full of rune and went down to Yuhu town. Qianjin is in the ground. Lin Haoyang was too late to exclaim. He knew that Zunyuan would not have much effect at this time. Secretly, he had already prepared for soul determination. As long as he found the right opportunity, he would cooperate with Sulinger to shake the tiger's soul and create it for the prisoner. Chance. At this time, Zheng Xiaoxi's wind blade was 6 meters wide, but she was not in a hurry to shoot. She was still accumulating energy. Lin Haoyang felt that the power of the wind blade was no less than golden core. If you continue to accumulate energy, I'm afraid to go straight to the late stage in golden core. Sulinger urged the big clock, and sound waves hit Yuhu one after another. With the experience of the last time, the scales around her ears flew long, and the attack effect of the big clock was weakened by half. Kaifeng's Qianjin's pit formation was accomplished at the same time as the Red Moon and Blue River ice dragons. The rune of Qianjin's dangerous formation is listed on top of Yuhu's head. In an instant, Yuhu's movement becomes extremely slow, and the rocks under his feet are like swamps, making it more difficult to move. The ice flame dragon spewed a breath, and the ice flame directly covered Yuhu. Even if Yuhu had heavy scales, he could not help but utter painful roars, especially those flames, which were caused by Zheng Xiaoxi and Lin Haoyang. Drilled into the wound and burned its flesh and blood. Yuhu was trapped in the siege, and suddenly his two front paws lifted up suddenly, and then stepped down suddenly, as if Qilin stepped on a ghost. This is Yuhu's talented supernatural power. The moment Qilin stepped on Yuhu's front paws, Kaifeng's Tier 4 formation suddenly collapsed, and all runes were crushed to pieces. Even the ice flame dragon fight was affected, and cracks appeared in the body. The formation was broken, Qi Feng's face turned white, a mouthful of blood came out, and his whole body was weak. Lin Haoyang knew that he could not be counted on in a short time. After smashing the Tier 4 formation with one foot, Yuhu went straight to the ice flame dragon, trying to tear it apart. But at this time, Su Linger urged the big clock to shook suddenly. This time the sound wave was even worse. Even if Yuhu used scales to block his ears, it would not help. Under the interference of this sound wave, Yuhu had to give up on the ice flame dragon. Chase. In just such a moment, the two mountain passes on Yuhu's shoulders, waist and abdomen, not only failed to heal, but were injured more severely by the breath of the ice flame dragon, and a large piece of flesh and blood has been eroded, and it can even be seen. Bone. At the moment Yuhu stopped chasing the ice flame dragon, a black glow flashed, and once again slashed between its waist and abdomen, this time slashing 100 kilograms of flesh and blood. He disappeared after hitting it for a while, and didn't get entangled with Yuhu at all. At this moment, Zheng Xiaoxi suddenly shouted, "Strap it!" Lin Haoyang was startled and looked sideways, and found that the wind blade in front of Zheng Xiaoxi was 9 meters wide, the wind blade had turned black, and a terrifying force was hidden inside. Lin Haoyang felt that the power of the wind blade at the moment was no less than the full blow of a golden core middle stage cultivator. Immediately, Sulinger moved the bell with all his strength, disturbing Yuhu's mind. The ice flame dragon also twisted around and entangled Yuhu. Yuhu also felt a huge crisis, and began to pierce the needle crazily. Seeing that it was difficult to get out, he opened his mouth and spit out. A fist-sized blue inner alchemy was knocked out by him and hit Zheng Xiaoxi directly. Zheng Xiaoxi was not in a hurry, and the wind blade in front of him couldn't control it anymore, and slammed towards Yuhu. Boom! The wind blade and Yuhu Niden collided together, and a storm suddenly set off, blowing all the gravel within a kilometer away. 16%. Chapter 97. Beheading. Standing in the violent wind, Lin Haoyang did not relax at all. The black spirit power on Zunyuan was even better, as if covered with a black flame. Zheng fellow Taoist, blow this dust away. Lin Haoyang said to Zheng Xiaoxi. Zheng Xiaoxi nodded. Although it was a bit expensive to use the wind blade just now, it was easy to blow a gust of wind. Soon, a tornado blew past, and the smoke and dust that enveloped everyone dispersed. I saw that the place where Feng Blade collided with Yuhu Niden had already turned into a huge pit, and the scene was in a mess. Suddenly, everyone's complexion changed, because Yuhu was nowhere to be seen. At this moment, the voice of Feng Prisoner came from the sky. Red Moon, be careful. Following Feng Prisoner's reminder, everyone turned their eyes to the Red Moon and Blue River who controlled the Ice Flame Dragon. I saw that Yuhu had already circled behind the two at some unknown time, and attacked them at a swift speed. If Yuhu succeeded, I am afraid that the two of them would not be spared. Yuhu was extremely fast. Although he was reminded by the Phoenix prison, the strength of the two was mostly on the Ice Flame Dragon. At this time, it was too late to want the Ice Flame Dragon to return to defense. Seeing that the situation is not good, Su Linger frantically urged the dementing clock in her hand, but they were far away, and she was afraid of hurting the two of Red Moon and Blue River. The effect of the dementing clock was much weakened, and the impact on Yuhu was minimal. At this time, Blue River suddenly stood in front of Hongyu, stretched out his hand and took out a Tier 4 defensive charm, and instantly a thick ice wall was transformed into a thick ice wall in front of the two of them to protect them. Everyone is aware of Yuhu's strength. If he can step through the dangerous formations of Kaifeng with 1 foot, Blue River's defensive charm may not be able to stop it. Boom! Yuhu's front paws were changed to stepping, and Qilin stepping was performed again. In an instant, the Tier 4 magic talisman presented by Blue River burst into pieces, and was shocked by this tremendous force, and Blue River spit out a mouthful of blood. But fortunately, he saved his life. Hongyu was holding Lanhe with despair. Because, with the force of the counter-shock, Yuhu raised his claws again, and he actually used Qilin twice in a row. At this moment, Lin Haoyang brazenly urged soul concentration, a force of divine sense that went straight to the center of Yuhu's eyebrows. After Lin Haoyang tried his best to fight the soul, he felt a little tingling in the center of his eyebrows, but he didn't have time to fix it and shouted frantically. Do it. This sentence was called to Prisoner Feng. Lin Haoyang knew that Prisoner Feng must have the ability to kill Yuhu, but there were great restrictions. But now Yuhu was trying his best to kill Red Moon and Lanhe, but Lin Haoyang found a chance to be beaten by Lin Haoyang's soul-fixing technique. For a while, Yuhu was caught off guard. Yuhu was in a daze with soul-defining skills, and his soul was in a trance, and his mind was even more painful as if the river was overwhelmed. This incident abruptly interrupted his innate supernatural power Qilin stepping. At this moment, a black-robed figure suddenly appeared in the air, holding a dagger in his hand. There was a cold light on the dagger, and in the hands of the black-robed man, the dagger suddenly pierced Yuhu's neck. Seeing the original thick-scale armor, it was completely vulnerable to a blow in front of this dagger. Yuhu was so scared by the sudden change that he wanted to get away, but it was too late. Puff! There was a soft sound, the neck of the tiger split open, and a lot of blood burst out, directly spraying the Red Moon and Blue River in front of him. Prisoner Feng landed, and the dagger was nowhere to be seen. Prisoner Feng backhanded Red Moon and Blue River to hold up a spirit power light curtain to prevent them from being invaded by blood. Bang! Yuhu fell to his head and died in the hands of 7 foundation building cultivators. Seeing that Yuhu was really slashed by the Phoenix prisoner, everyone still felt a little unreality. Although Feng prisoner's strength was amazing, Lin Haoyang's hand at the time was obviously not bad. Only Su Linger was barely calm. You know, Lin Haoyang's move caused Ziyan Luo to suffer. Yuhu was beheaded, and Hongyu and Lanhe hadn't recovered. They were equivalent to walking outside the Gimin Pass. From the reminder of Feng prison to the death of Yuhu by Feng prison, there was no more than 5 breaths of time. The ups and downs were really heartbeat. However, Hongyu and Lanhe are not ordinary people. They quickly suppressed the fear in their hearts. Hongyu lifted Lanhe up, and the two bowed to Feng prison. Thank you Feng fellow Taoist for your help. Prisoner Feng waved his hand, came to Yuhu's corpse, looked at Lin Haoyang, and said. If it hadn't been for Lin fellow Taoist just now, which directly disrupted the spirit of this beast, otherwise I wouldn't have a chance to shoot. Facing the Feng prisoner, Lin Haoyang could only shrug his shoulders helplessly and said. Zai Sha's methods are not worth mentioning, but Feng fellow Taoist opened her eyes. As for Lin Haoyang's modesty, prisoner Feng chose to ignore it. Seeing him slashing over Yuhu's body with a dagger, he was obviously about to disassemble it. Hongyu and Lanhe were a little bit surprised. They did not expect that Lin Haoyang saved themselves at the critical moment, but the two were not stingy, and they also bowed to Lin Haoyang and said, "Thank you, Lin, fellow Taoist, for your life-saving grace. If you have something later, just tell me both." Lin Haoyang waved his hand. He didn't save the two because they thanked him for coming. If Lan He and Hongyu were missing, they would be even more passive in this secret realm. Okay, now is not the time to be sad. This Yuhu is tier 4 demonic beasts, its value. Before Su Linger finished speaking, he walked to the body of the Yuhu. A smile appeared on Lin Haoyang's face, and the Xuan Yuan sword appeared in his hand. Yuhu's body was like a pile of spirit stones, waiting for everyone to harvest. After half an hour, everyone disassembled Yuhu and put a part into their own storage bag. This time, Feng Prison and Lin Haoyang contributed the most, and the two got the most part. It is a pity that after Yuhu's inner alchemy collided with Zheng Xiaoxi's wind blade, there was already a crack. If you want to become a foundation building alchemy, the success rate may drop by 30%. In other words, using this inner pill to refine the foundation building pill is no profit at all, and it is no different from using money to buy the foundation building pill. In the end, this foundation building Dan was taken by Lin Haoyang. There is no way. The Lin family is missing the foundation building Dan. Others don't care, but he does. In addition to the foundation building Dan, Lin Haoyang took Yuhu's spine, tailbone and some flesh and blood. As for the tiger claws, tiger teeth, and scale armor, Lin Haoyang didn't take it, but after this trip, it was close to the income of 10,000 or 20,000 spirit stones. After tidying up Yuhu, everyone came to the waterfall, ate the side dishes, and began to serve hard dishes. "Let's go. Go in and take a look," Kaifeng said, and then jumped into the cave. Lin Haoyang and the others did not hesitate, and jumped into the hole one after another. As soon as he entered the cave, Lin Haoyang felt a strong yang energy. Looking for the yang energy, he saw a token floating on a stone milk not far away. The token is white, and those yang energy are emitted from this token, and this is the yang order in the yin and yang order. According to the previous discussions, this token was finally taken into the bag by the prisoner Feng, and everyone had no objection, and everyone knew the strength of the prisoner Feng. After that, everyone searched the cave again, but this time there was nothing else to gain. It seems that the tiger is also attracted by the yin and yang decrees yang qi, and comes here to absorb yang qi, and wants to use these yang qi to promote it to advance. However, it reminds everyone that where there is yin and yang order, demonic beasts will be attracted to go, because the yin and yang spirit of yin and yang order will help demonic beasts to advance. For them, it is a big supplement. Things. With this discovery, everyone looked for yin and yang orders, and finally got some ways. So it was divided into 3 groups again and explored this secret realm. 16%. Chapter 98. Worshipping the moon and chasing the sun. The secret realm in the 3rd level is very large. It is a space transplanted by people from the fairy world with big magic power. This is why the demonic beasts in this secret realm are all real and powerful. After beheading Yuhu, the group spent a month in the secret realm. During this time, they found another sun decree. This sun order was in a deep pool, and there was a 4th order 3 poisonous scorpion in the pool. It took a long time for everyone to kill it. Finally, after some discussions, this sun order was handed over to Lin Haoyang. In this way, Chongshan Tower is equivalent to having 2 yang decree. As long as 1 more yin decree is obtained, one can ensure that one person passes the 3rd level, if this person is Lin Haoyang. Then, Chongshan Tower can get 4 points. This score is equivalent to the final results of some of the top 5th rank forces. However, the pursuit of Chongshan Tower does not stop there. Their greed is even greater, and even Lin Haoyang and others have more appetites than this. However, yin and yang ordered only 36 in total, and it is destined that only 36 people at most can complete the trial. Moreover, there can be no changes in it. Now, something happened. The 7 members of Zhongshan Tower met 2 of the 4 alliances, and the place where they met was in the ruins of a palace. 2 hours ago, relying on his super perception and special pupil skills, Lan He unexpectedly discovered a ruin in the mountains. Lan He and Hongyu felt that there must be something weird, so they didn't check it first. Instead they issued a sound search order to find Lin Haoyang and others. And just as Lin Haoyang hurried to where the 2 of Blue River were, a team of people appeared on the other side of the ruins. This team is composed of 2 5th rank top forces. There are a total of 8 people, and the strength is not weaker than that of Chongshanlu. When Lin Haoyang and others rushed to go to the ruins together, the 2 men and horses happened to meet together. For a time, the atmosphere was a little uncontrollable. The contention of yin and yang's order is too great. No matter which side it is, it will not be easily let go. Maybe it will be a battle between dragons and tigers. Lin Haoyang frowned. He didn't want the two sides to fight. It was not long before the third stage of the trial began. They have not been able to obtain a complete yin and yang order, and the final points cannot be guaranteed. At this time, if you fight to the death with this group of people, I am afraid that the next yin and yang order, Zhongshan Tower, will definitely not be able to compete with Hunyuan Dao and Baixianmen. The 7 people of Lin Haoyang exchanged their looks, and everyone thought about the same, so Qifeng nodded and said to the other side. Worshipping the moon and chasing the 2 fellow Taoists. I'm afraid I don't want to do it now. Qifeng went straight to the subject and didn't have too many polite words, which surprised the 2 cultivators a bit. The 2 cultivators exchanged their eyes. The young cultivator with a big day on his forehead stepped forward and said, "It's not good for you to do it at this time, but this ruin is boofin at first glance. I'm afraid you can't bear to give up. You said, how to deal with this?" Quote. Qifeng frowned, and that was exactly what he wanted to ask. If it is not handled well, I am afraid the 2 sides will inevitably have a fierce battle. Lin Haoyang's brows tightened. At this time, he must not go to war easily. He stepped forward and said, "This site is very large, but in general it is bounded by the stone tower in the middle. Why not use the stone tower as the boundary? The east of the stone tower belongs to the Zhongshan Tower, and the west of the stone tower belongs to you." The youth cultivator frowned. He was a little moved by Lin Haoyang's suggestion, but seeing that Lin Haoyang's cultivation base only had 5 floors of the foundation building, he asked, "Can you be the master of Chongshan Tower?" As he said, he looked at prisoner Feng, clearly knowing that prisoner Feng is the most powerful of these people in Chongshan Tower. In the previous 2nd level, she stepped on the 7th stone bridge, while the young cultivator herself stopped on the 6th floating island. Prisoner Feng didn't show up or even thought about it, so he said, "He can call the shots, you just have to ask if you can agree." Prisoner Feng was very simple. Even Lin Haoyang was a little surprised, but prisoner Feng would support him. Seeing that prisoner Feng didn't make sense, and even meant that Lin Haoyang was the mainstay, he glanced at Lin Haoyang more for a while, and finally said in a deep voice, "Okay, as the fellow Taoist said, to the west of my 2 stone towers. To the east of the stone tower of Zhongshan Tower. On the contrary, I hope fellow Taoist of Chongshan Tower will not cross the boundary, otherwise, we worship the moon and chase the day too are not so easy to bully." Quote. After that, the pro-year cultivator brought 2 people into the ruins. Lin Haoyang and the others didn't wait much, and jumped into the east of the ruins. The ruins are so big that everyone can't stay together anymore. Even Su Ling'er wanted to be by Lin Haoyang's side, but Lin Haoyang refused. Fortune is a matter of its own destiny. Lin Haoyang left everyone and came to a pavilion. According to his experience, such pavilions are generally available. Although it was a pavilion, it was not just a solitary building. A large area nearby belonged to this pavilion. When Lin Haoyang approached, he found that the plaque in front of the pavilion read Baojin Pavilion. Seeing these 3 words, Lin Haoyang was overjoyed. It seemed that this place should be a shop, probably just like Yuanenjai, doing business for merchants. And these places generally have good things. Lin Haoyang stepped into the treasure gold pavilion, and saw that many buildings had decayed and collapsed. The spiritual plants that had been planted for viewing in the past had grown wildly, and the place was almost submerged. It seems that no one has been here for a long time. If this place is really a relic of the fairy world, I am afraid this place has been abandoned for nearly 20,000 years. 20,000 years, it has been able to corrode most of the spirit treasures for a long time. If there is any special preservation method, it will be possible to preserve it. Lin Haoyang stepped into a room. Although the original tables and chairs were still there, as long as Lin Haoyang touched it a little, these 20,000-year-old relics would turn into a piece of smoke and mud. Since most of the things are decayed, Lin Haoyang no longer inspected room by room, he only selected some main rooms and special rooms for inspection. Boom! Lin Haoyang slashed open a rotten door. This was already the 12th door that Lin Haoyang had opened. In the previous 11 rooms, Lin Haoyang had found nothing. But when he opened this door, Lin Haoyang's expression changed, and finally a hint of joy appeared on his face. Because there was a dead body sitting in the lotus position in this room. 20,000 years later, the body has shriveled and turned into a mummy. However, the hollow of its eyebrows is still clearly visible. I think it was attacked by magic treasures such as flying needles, and was directly nailed here. Suddenly, Lin Haoyang saw the storage bag on the waist of the mummy, his eyes lit up, and he grabbed the storage bag with his right hand. The moment when the storage bag started, Lin Haoyang's expression changed. After 20,000 years, the rune on this fourth-order top-grade storage bag was almost wiped out. Lin Haoyang's sudden grabbing almost made the storage bag. It collapsed directly. But Lin Haoyang was quick, and a spirit power hit it, preventing the storage bag from disintegrating. After the storage bag calmed down completely, Lin Haoyang probed for a trace of divine sense, wanting to check what else was inside. In 20,000 years, the storage bags of Tier 4 top grade have collapsed, and many things in the storage bags have decayed. Lin Haoyang searched for a long time, but everyone still let him find out. It was a black residual bone. This bone was about the length of a finger, and it was probably the leg bone of some kind of demonic beasts. There are a lot of mysterious lines on the remaining bones. These lines are not like the Taoist texts Lin Haoyang has seen, but they reveal a strange breath. There is still a lot of dry blood on the residual bone. It is possible that the residual bone appears black because too much blood has been contaminated. 17%. Chapter 99. Conflict. This residual bone is too weird. Lin Haoyang doesn't know how to deal with it, but it hasn't been corroded for 20,000 years, which means it's also a treasure. Lin Haoyang struggled in his heart, and finally took out a jade box and put it in, and put a lot of restrictions on it, and then put it in the storage bag with confidence. Dispose of the remaining bones, and the other items in the storage bag are of no value. In this room, apart from the mummy, there were no other foreign objects. Lin Haoyang moved his hand and ignited a real fire, saying, "Senior, although I don't know what happened that year, since Junior has been bequeathed by Senior, let's send it off to Senior." With that, Lin Haoyang wrapped the mummy with real fire, and within a few breaths, the mummy was turned into ashes, and the traces of this person in the world will disappear forever. Leaving this room, Lin Haoyang searched again. This pavilion was too wide. After Lin Haoyang searched for a long time, it was only the tip of the iceberg. 2 hours later, Lin Haoyang saw another dry corpse, just like the previous one, with a hollow on the eyebrows, and the way to die was the same as the previous one. Lin Haoyang looked for it and found the storage bag at the waist of the corpse. This time, Lin Haoyang had experience and took it off carefully so as not to overwhelm the storage bag and collapse. Opening the storage bag, Lin Haoyang looked slowly again. Lin Haoyang's divine sense was very careful. Although the contents of the storage bag seemed to be fine, as long as they touched it a little, it would be shattered. Finally, Lin Haoyang sighed all over. This time he was not so lucky, and he didn't get any results. But Lin Haoyang was not discouraged. After all, after 20,000 years, what can be left is good things. Even if he didn't get anything here, he made a lot of money this trip. For the next 2 days, Lin Haoyang and others have been searching this ruin. Although there are 2 people here, there is no conflict in general, and everyone is immersed in the treasure hunt. In 2 days, Lin Haoyang found a total of 7 mummy corpses, each with a wound on the center of the eyebrows, the same way of death that he wanted to come. According to Lin Haoyang's estimation, the owners of these mummy corpses are at least nascent soul realm in front of the cultivation base. Lin Haoyang became more and more frightened as he thought about it. What kind of power was it capable of killing so many people at the same time in an instant? I'm afraid that this is related to the immortal catastrophe that year. Lin Haoyang couldn't find more evidence for a while, so he had to stop guessing too much. With 7 dry corpses, Lin Haoyang found a total of 4 valuable things. In addition to the weird remnants, there were also a flying sword, a bronze fragment, and a jade slip. Flying sword showed a greenish color as a whole, and the word, Long Yuan, appeared on the hilt of the sword. Obviously, this sword was called Long Yuan, whose name was somewhat similar to Xuan Yuan in his current hand. The Dragon Abyss sword blade is still somewhat incomplete. Lin Haoyang estimated that this flying sword was a Tier 5 top-grade magical item before, but after years of invasion, its grade dropped all the way to Tier 4 low grade. Although its strength has been greatly reduced, for Lin Haoyang, this Long Yuan is still a powerful magical item. Except for Long Yuan, Lin Haoyang didn't know what that piece of bronze was. Without spirit power fluctuations, it could survive such a long time. As for that piece of jade slip, Lin Haoyang was very optimistic, but couldn't find a way to open it. If Lin Haoyang forced it to open, the contents inside would be destroyed automatically. Lin Haoyang was afraid, so he didn't open it forcibly. Lin Haoyang had almost searched for this pavilion, but Lin Haoyang only went to some places that seemed to be of higher specifications. It took too long to search inside and out. Just when Lin Haoyang wanted to move around and find another place, there was a loud noise suddenly in the distance. Lin Haoyang's complexion changed, and he rushed to the place where there was a loud noise. Judging by the sound, the noise came from the border area between east and west. There was a palace nearby. Lin Haoyang remembered, where are the two people, Blue River and Red Moon, place? Where there is a loud noise now, there must be something. If there is a battle with the two cultivators of the moon worship and the day, I am afraid that the two will suffer a big loss. Not only Lin Haoyang, but other people in the Chongshan Tower heard it, and immediately rushed to the palace in the junction area. In the palace at the junction of the ruins, Red Moon and Blue River had already summoned the Ice Flame Dragon. Opposite them, there were 3 disciples of Yizong. The 3 disciples of Yizong, 2 women and 1 man, all wore blue Chinese clothes with stars dotted with them, and on their foreheads, there were half-moon-shaped lines. At this moment, these 3 people, as if they were draped in yuehua, were confronting Lanhe and Hongyu. The loud noise just now was caused by the collision of the 2 methods, and in the center of their palace, there was a token floating up and down, exuding a burst of yin air. It turned out that Lanyu and Hong were searching around here, and suddenly Lanhe sensed it for a while. Cause. Originally in this ruin, because too many cultivators died, some yin qi was also normal. Lin Haoyang also sensed it before, but found nothing. But Blue River perceives far more than ordinary people, and finds that the yin qi near the palace is not the same as the yin qi condensed by the death of these people. It is more pure, just like the yang qi emitted by the previous yang ling. Therefore, Lanhe and Hongyu went to the palace to check. Unexpectedly, there is a woman in the Baiyu sect who is also good at the technique of exploration, and the Yueyu sect itself has the cultivation technique of cultivating yin qi, which is naturally very sensitive to yin qi. Therefore, looking for this breath, the 2 parties went to the Great Hall where the yin ling was hidden. Seeing that there really was a negative order in the Great Hall, both parties were overjoyed. The woman Hongyu had a fiery temper, and she immediately displayed her magical powers with Blue River and fought with the 3 people on the opposite side. But it was not easy to worship the 3 of Yizong. Under the joint urging of yuehua by the 3, Lanhe and Hongyu were also unpleasant, so that the 2 sides were deadlocked for a while. Lin Haoyang was not far from the palace, and when he rushed to the place where the 2 of them were, he happened to meet the Feng prisoner who was rushing along. The 2 of them just looked at each other and rushed to the palace as quickly as possible to avoid any changes. After half a stick of incense, Lin Haoyang and Feng prison arrived first. As soon as he arrived, Lin Haoyang understood why the 2 sides had a conflict, and the value of a yin order was indeed worth such a big fight. As soon as Lin Haoyang and the 2 arrived, the helpers of Baiyazong also arrived. 3 people arrived, 1 cultivator of Yueyazong and 2 cultivators of Sunchaser sect. The young man who represented the 2 cases before was also among them, and when he saw Lin Haoyang and Feng prisoner, his brows were slightly frowned. Lin Haoyang and Feng prisoner came to Lanhe and Hongyu. Obviously, this conflict could not be resolved by a single person. Finally, the manly way of the Zongri sect. The fellow Taoist of Chongshan Tower, I don't know if we can pass this yin and yang order to us. As long as you agree, we will immediately withdraw from the ruins when we worship the moon and the day by day. The chants inside, the cupped hands give to Chongshanlu. Quote. Hearing this, Lin Haoyang's complexion condensed. Obviously there is no ulterior motive in this statement. Lin Haoyang knew the value of this piece of ruin. If he could search through these areas one by one, he would definitely gain a lot of rewards that Yuan Zhongshan Tower promised. And that cultivator must have found out the information of Lin Haoyang and others, knowing that Lin Haoyang, Feng Prison, and Lanhe are not real Chongshanlu cultivators, and the other party's move is tantamount to murder and condemnation. Hongyu's face changed immediately, a trace of panic flashed across her face, and said, Lin fellow Taoist, Feng fellow Taoist. Don't believe that kid's words, I can treat the 2 of you in Chongshan Tower. If we can win this yin order, I will give the cupped hands this yin order to the 2 fellow Taoists. To help you complete the trial. After the matter is over, Chongshan Tower will definitely thank you both. Before Hongyu finished speaking, Daneng Lin Haoyang already understood what she meant. She was worried that the 2 would turn back. Lin Haoyang interrupted Hongyu when he was a child, and said, Red Moon fellow Taoist is too underestimated. With his few words and Shi Xiaohui, he wants me to lose my reputation for perfidy. After that, Lin Haoyang directly sacrificed the Dragon Abyss sword, and on the broken blade, the black spirit power was extremely active. 17%. Chapter 100. Lin Haoyang's attitude was surprisingly tough, and even prisoner Feng was a little surprised. As for the young cultivator, she was so tempted just now. But Lin Haoyang's actions woke her up. Yes, she is not afraid of anything in this secret realm, but if she goes out, I am afraid that Zhongshan Tower will not easily let her go. Thinking of this, prisoner Feng had no other heart, and a dagger appeared in her hand. This time she did not hide it, but the whole person was like a sharp blade, which made people feel extremely dangerous. Seeing that Lin Haoyang and Feng prison were ready for a battle, Hongyuan Lanhe felt a bit of anger, and said to the young man of the Zongri sect, "How Zan Yi, can you only play tricks? I heard that you are the seed cultivated by the Zong Daily sect. Today I will see what you do." As he said, the ice flame dragon vacated again, and the scales on his body trembled one by one. Finally, as the ice flame dragon roared, all the scales on the ice flame dragon shot out, like a sharp sword. Some of these scales were burning with flames and some with frost, and now they all went straight to Hao Xuanchen and the others. Facing the ice flame dragon's scales and shooting backwards, Hao Xuanchen's complexion changed slightly, but he didn't see his movements, and the 4 Yizong cultivators behind him stepped forward. Suddenly, a moonlight rose up, and even seemed to be connected to a mysterious sea of stars. In the end, a golden full moon formed in front of everyone. The dragon scales shot on the full moon, and there was a sound of metal crashing. Although the ice flame dragon came fiercely, it unexpectedly failed to break through the golden full moon. It's just that in the eyes of everyone, the previous full moon turned into a half moon. Looking at this half a month, Feng Prison whispered. The technique of patching the sky. Lin Haoyang heard the shock in Feng Prisoner's words, frowned and asked, "Is there any secret in this?" Feng Prison's face was a little heavy, and said, "Worship Yizong regards the moon as a totem, and their cultivation method is a little different from ordinary people. In addition to cultivation spirit power, they also cultivate the power of Yuehua. According to legend, this technique of patching the sky was created by the ancestor of the mountain worshipping the moon sect. And the power of this law is not in its defensive power, but in its resilience. If it can't be defeated in an instant, half a month will eventually return to the full moon." Quote. Just as Lin Haoyang was talking between the two, the golden half moon, under the shining of Yuehua, returned to the full moon. Seeing this, the red moon looked gloomy as water, but the offensive remained unabated, and the ice flame dragon tossed, and a breath attacked the full moon again. Seeing that the two were unwilling to give up, Hao Xuanchen smiled on his face. This time, the seed was sent to more than the sun chaser. He didn't worry that the attacks of the red moon and blue river could break through this defense. But just as the golden full moon rose, Lin Haoyang's flying sword jumped over at some point, with a black glow, and a sword struck it on the golden full moon. It turned out that while everyone was not paying attention, Lin Haoyang controlled the long yuan sword and slashed on the full moon with one sword. The previous metal impact body did not appear, and Long Yuan looked like a bone-attached maggot, and was not bounced off by the golden moon. On the contrary, it was like cutting meat, cutting into the golden moon bit by bit. Lin Haoyang himself didn't expect this situation, but he felt that this was caused by the black spirit power of the Buddha's profound art. When Feng Prison saw this scene, her face was suddenly happy. She thought it was Lin Haoyang who had found a way to break the gap. With a move of the dagger in her hand, she turned into a black snake and went straight to the two cultivators. How could Red Moon and Blue River let go of such a good opportunity? The ice flame dragon violently accelerated and rushed straight to the two cultivators. The most surprised was the woman who worshipped Yizong with a pair of half-moon earrings, Leng Yuchen. She was controlling this sky-patching technique. This is the first time she has seen this kind of situation since she has cultivated the sky-repairing technique. Seeing the black snake and the ice flame dragon attack again, she was a little confused for a while. Hao Xuanchen didn't expect that at this moment a big day rose behind him. The light was a little dazzling, he was ready to use the strongest means. But at this moment, a soft noise suddenly came from the golden full moon. Ding! Long Yuanjian cut off a golden full moon. That's right, it cut off a piece. The cut piece turned directly into a moonflower, and disappeared. Seeing this, Leng Yuchen's face was taken aback, and she was a little at a loss. She had been cultivating the full moon for decades, but now Lin Haoyang has cut off a corner. Moreover, no matter how Leng Yuchen urged the technique of circumcision, the corner chopped off by Lin Haoyang could no longer be recovered. At this moment, the black snake transformed by the phoenix prisoner's dagger struck, but when he was about to do it, he was stopped by the big sun transformed by Hao Xuanchen. Dari spewed out a burst of fire, and after stopping the black snake, the light dissipated and transformed into a three-legged golden crow phantom, fighting against the black snake transformed into a phoenix prisoner. Although the Feng prisoner was stronger, it was for stealth attack and killing. This kind of frontal confrontation, Feng prisoner did not have much advantage, and for a time, it was difficult for the two to distinguish the winner. The frost dragon was also stopped by two other Sunchaser disciples and a moon worship sect disciple. The current situation is slightly unfavorable to Lin Haoyang and the others. If Lin Haoyang cut off a full moon weirdly, and let Lang Yuchen throw a rat avoidance device, I am afraid that this battle would be even more difficult for Chongshanlu and others. In the stalemate between the two sides, Lin Haoyang urged the Long Yuan sword again and cut it on the golden waning moon. As before, Long Yuan was not bounced away, but cut into the waning moon again. Looking at this scene, Lang Yuchen's complexion changed wildly, and his hands changed decisively, wanting to get rid of the dragon origin sword. But the black spirit power on the Long Yuan sword is like a bone-attached maggot. No matter how it urges the full moon, Long Yuan will not move until. Ding! The round moon transformed by Lang Yuchan was cut by a corner again. The original perfect round moon now resembles being bitten by a dog. Ah, I'm going to kill you. Lang Yuchen finally couldn't calm down and let out an angry roar. At this moment, Lin Haoyang urged Long Yuanjian to chop the broken moon again. Lang Yuchen's expression became extremely ugly. If Lin Haoyang continued to chop down, I'm afraid the moon would be chopped off. Therefore, when Long Yuan slashed again, Lang Yuchen directly dispersed the moon shadow, causing Long Yuan to slash in the empty space with a single sword. Forced to disperse the moon shadow, Lang Yuzen's face turned white, and he was obviously backlashed. The other two disciples of the moon worship sect were unprepared, and were directly spit out a mouthful of blood from the backlash, looking at Lang Yuchan with a little bit of resentment. But Lang Yuchen couldn't take care of so much anymore, just when he wanted to teach Lin Haoyang a lesson. Suddenly a soul-dementing clock flew in the sky, and the sound waves dispersed, causing the two cultivators to have a headache. Soon, Zheng Shaoxi and Su Ling'er arrived at the same time. Together, Zheng Shaoxi immediately photographed a wind blade about 5 meters away. I'm afraid the pressure caused Lang Yuchen's eyelids to jump. Unexpectedly, the people from Chongshan Tower arrived first, and she also ran into Lin Haoyang, the nemesis, which turned her biggest dependence into a burden. How, fellow Taoist, now things can't be withdrawn for the hope of worshipping Yizong first. Lang Yuchen is also a decisive person. Hao Xuanchen glanced at Lin Haoyang, then at Yin and Yongling, sighed one last time, and withdrew the Zongri sect. Seeing the two cultivators leave, Lin Haoyang is still a bit untrue. He originally thought there would be a battle between dragons and tigers, but he didn't expect it to end in a hurry. Finally, Red Moon and Blue River put away the Yin Ling. Kaifeng had just arrived and found that the battle was over. When he was looking at everyone with a puzzled look, the whole ruins began to shake, and some places actually began to sink into the ground. Go! Lin Haoyang yelled, and then quickly ran out of the ruins. When everyone escaped dangerously, they looked back and found that the whole ruins had been completely sunk into the ground. All ruins had been completely sunk into the ground. All ruins had been completely